What's up, everybody? We got through. I think we actually got that working. The relief potentially is there, although I think I might have done something slightly wrong. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for the Indie Games podcast. It's Saturday, and I'm super excited to be doing the third episode of the Indie Games podcast with an awesome crew. We've got the full IGP crew panel with us today, and also two special guests who are awesome peeps in the community. It's a pleasure to have brought on. So we got five guys going for it, and we're going to be talking about some good stuff today with some indie topics that I've put together that hopefully you guys will enjoy. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed that intro. Hopefully the audio came through. It was the first time tried it. I think I might have accidentally had two audios going at once at one point. So if there was a little bit of muddied audio at one point, then that's probably why, and that won't happen again because I think I had two of the song going at one time. So anyway, basically I hope you enjoyed that. Points to if you can name as many of the games that are in that intro. Let me know in the comments how many you have spotted that you might have seen. There's a ton of great indie games in that intro I put together. The hardest part was actually ruling out some because I didn't want it to be like a 10-minute intro. But I hope you enjoyed the intro. Like I say, I thought we'd try and spruce it up a little bit, take it up to another level for this podcast, because it deserves hopefully to be a show which you enjoy, for a feast for the eyes as well as the ears. But anyway, my rambling is already kicked in, so we're going to get on with some intros. Like I say, massive thanks to everyone in the chat for popping in, and I will shout you out in just a moment. You guys rock. But I just want to get straight into a bit of intros from the panel, and actually let's start with the special guest today. I want to start with a guy who is one of the most positive guys around. The positivity is always welcome, and there's a lot of there's a lot of people on this panel who feel they're positive gamers, and I definitely would say that this guy is also a highly positive gamer. He's a UK guy, and is always a blast to chat games with. He's got a great knowledge of indies that might put a bit of pressure on him, but not to worry because I know he has it. And he's also someone who doesn't have the easiest ride in life. I won't go into too much detail, but he's in his wheelchair, in his photo, in his avatar there, and I think he's just an inspirational guy, and it's an honor to have Xbox Jesus on the show today to chat some indie games. How you doing, brother?
Not too bad, man. Yourself?
I'm doing good, thanks, bro. Yeah. It's honestly a blast to have you on the show because I love your streams. I love all you do in the community. You're with BG4G Hub as well now, which is awesome. And like when you wear that tank top, that is that sets it off. But yeah, basically,
will you, man?
I can't deny it, bro. And like I say, it is an honor to have you on because that red tank top. No, sorry. In all seriousness,
I'm getting a bit worried.
I've always wanted you on, bro. No, in all seriousness, you're a great guy, one of the finest in the community, and it's a pleasure to have you on, bro. So thank you for accepting the invite.
Man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think, talking some games today, bro. We did the stream the other day, of course, where we did the reaction stream, but we'll get into some more detailed topics. It was, my friend. Yeah, it was awesome to do that. And so moving on from there, we've got another awesome guy in the community who I've met through a podcast which I love and watch every week, which more people should definitely do. It's growing steadily, which is fantastic to see. And that is the Vitamin Gaming podcast, hosted by FC Violent. But this time we've had FC on the channel before, but this time we've got one of his crew members who always delivers facts and honest truths about gaming, and is a very dedicated gamer. He's in my Discord, and I'm hidden in the VGP Discord, and he's literally playing all the time. So he's definitely a dedicated gamer, and it's an honor to have Jubei Sensei on the show today. How's it going, my friend?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy to be here finally.
Awesome stuff.
We're always chatting it up in the comments.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
nice to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you, bro. Yeah, because I always love our conversations in the podcast chat on VGP and stuff. You're always talking about games you're playing, and often they're indies, which is it just makes me feel good. No, you've got a good.
It hits that spot, does it, mate?
It does. I have to admit, it's not a tank top, but. But it is awesome though, and like the more people that play indie games the better, because it's, I don't want to get into too much detail on it, but this is a sad thing that there's a lot of people still kind of just write them off, basically. I'll keep it short and simple. They don't just look into indie games, they just sort of write them off, basically. But yeah, like having you on the show today, bro, is hopefully going to open more people's minds and be able to share the love for those indie games. And like I say, it's always a pleasure chatting with you, as you're just a great guy anyway. So thanks for coming on, my friend.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Happy to be here.
Good stuff. And just quickly get into obviously the full crew today, who is the VGP. Not VGP, we're not VGP, are we? We are the IGP. We've changed. We've literally commandeered the podcast. We're the IGP for the first time I said that, so that's probably why I had a problem. But yeah, we got Fastback and Coop, and like I've said before, we didn't have Fastback last time, so I want to say again that they're going to be on the regular now on the podcast, which is absolutely awesome because I love the guys to death, and they have got great indie knowledge and passion, which we're going to be carrying forward as the three amigos, as I say, and sharing that indie game love, basically. So yeah, how you doing, Fastback? It's great to have you back on today, my friend. How's it going?
Doing great. Glad to be here, and then glad to have Xbox Jesus and Jubei Sensei. So lots of indie goodness been coming out lately. I think we've been seeing a lot of indies shown more so than pretty much any other game you can think of. AAAs and all that. So
definitely
been a lot of love there for it. So that's why we're here.
Definite. No, it's a good shout. Yeah, AAAs are finding it hard in the current climate, I believe. So it's the time for indies to rise up and shine for sure. But yeah, awesome to have you on again, my friend, and we going forward, and all we have in store in the future. Good stuff, bro. That means the world. And Super Coop is back with us as well. My man, always. Just look at his Steam profile to know if he's an indie game fan. He's got a ton of indie games in his catalogue. Like I say, it's awesome always to hang with him. Always brings the knowledge, always brings the passion, and just a great guy to hang with as well. So thanks again for accepting the invite to be a regular, Coop. And how you doing, bro?
Good, man. It's been an honor. Steam. You thank Humble Bundle for that, boy.
Oh, really? Nice.
Subscribe to a Humble Bundle for a little while, and your indie collection is gonna shoot through the roof.
Nice. Yeah, they do good stuff for a good value, don't they? Over there for sure.
Yeah.
Let's have some stuff to download.
It's like the Game Pass of PC, actually, even though Game Pass is on PC now.
Yes, it is indeed. Yeah, it's all just spread out, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Why not? Love it. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming on. And I just want to shout out the chat because you guys are legendary, and it means the world that you come out and check out this show. It's only the third episode, so we're just getting into our stride, and it means the world for the support coming in. And I want to shout out all you guys individually, as I can see on the screen at the moment. We've got Stubbs Gaming. Always a pleasure seeing you in there, bro. Thanks for coming out. Sean Murray, thanks for coming in, buddy. Really appreciate it. Export 448, awesome to see you again, bro. Always a good, like I say again, always good to see you in the chat. Judzilla we've got in there, always good to see you, bro. And VJ, someone I've been talking to quite a bit lately, and I also was on Boom's show the other day with VJ, and that was a pleasure, buddy. And you might see VJ on this show sometime in the near future. Watch this space. But it's good. It was good hanging with you, bro. And yeah, Dragon Wolf, awesome to see you as always, my friend. And let's just zip up a little bit. And yep, I think that is about everyone who's in there. If you haven't said hi, feel free to pop in the chat like Juan Castillo has just done. How's it going, my friend? Thanks for popping out to check out the show. We really appreciate it. And Green Pass Gaming, awesome to see you too. Another podcast you might see myself on in sometime in the near future. So it's good to see all the love coming out, guys. And joining up, because supporting each other and supporting gaming in general is a cool thing to do. It's a great community. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on now, and we're going to get started with the actual show. So basically, we've got.
You forgot Daz.
Is Daz in there?
Man.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh no, that's illegal, isn't it?
He's got hurt feelings now.
That was an illegal move.
Man.
Save the best for last, right?
That's like thanks for the save, bro.
You're right, man.
Yeah, Dazzy, bro, what's up? Always, my main man who I speak to every day, UK Dazarus, and you're a legend, bro. So thank you so much, and I apologize that I forgot you. It's just because you're just there, you're my man. You're going without saying, bro. But anyway, let's get into this. Let me know if I've missed you guys, and I will shout you out for sure. But thanks everyone for coming by. I'm fired from myself. I should be too. But yeah, so we got a ton of topics today to get into. We've got some talk about Idea Xbox, the milestone that they made recently. We talk about a game called DARQ getting a console release. We want to tackle a topic which has been on my mind to tackle for a while and get some opinions from a variety of people, which is what defines an indie game to you, which is going to be an interesting one. I think we're going to talk about that a bit later on, but we're going to give our thoughts on what an actual indie game is, what makes an indie game an indie game essentially, and where you fall with regards to that. But we'll get into those later. We've got some other topics too, but we're going to start off with the Idea Xbox stuff. I'm just going to try my new transition, see if this works. Ooh, very sexy. Hello. So yeah, we're going to get into Idea Xbox. Sorry about that, guys. I shouldn't have said that. I ruined it now. But yeah, so we, like I said, get into the Idea Xbox stuff. I'm just going to pull that up. I can do that seamlessly, hopefully, without just losing my way. So basically, couple of weeks ago, Idea Xbox reached a milestone of they hit 2,000 games shipped within the program within the time since its inception. So they shipped 2,000 games through Idea Xbox, not published because they're not a publisher, but they've it's gone through the program where it's through that. So which is a pretty damn awesome milestone. And I've brought the graphic up on the screen if you did want to check that out. But yeah, it's also quite interesting to look at the graphic and see the trajectory of it as well, because Idea Xbox started essentially in 2014, although 2013 I think it was sort of just came in, and so since 2014 they've shipped 2,000 games through the Idea Xbox program, which is a fantastic thing to be able to celebrate, I think. And like I say, with the trajectory, it started off at, so you got 1,000th game was shipped by 2018, so quite slow for 4 years, and then 1,000 games shipped from 2018 to 2020, which shows a really big increase in the amount of indie games that they've been pushing out. The other thing as well is which is pretty cool just to know, which they don't talk about very often, which is money, which was they made the amount paid out in royalties to the developers was over 1.5 billion paid out to indie developers through the Idea Xbox program. So that is pretty damn cool, I think. That's a lot of money. Obviously, that's between a lot of developers. A little bit of money.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I think it's just super cool. And yeah, the other big one as well, to add to that finally before we get into your opinions and stuff on this, guys, and just is that they have also got now 2,000 games in the works, which are upcoming Idea Xbox indie games. So at the moment they've got a further 2,000 Idea Xbox games currently in the works. So it's pretty damn good. That could obviously go up even still. So that is a pretty epic number. Stubbs Gaming says from what date that it was started in 2013, 2014, late 2013 I think it was. So that's when it started, like I just said a minute ago. 2014 to 2018 they did 1,000. It's on the screen. And then 2018 to 2020 they did another 1,000 Idea Xbox games. So yeah, for for the life of me to get me to stop talking. I want to hear what you guys want to think about this. And let's start with Fastback on this one. Just wanted to hear your opinions about what you think about this, bro, and just give me something back from what you think about Idea Xbox and how they've been doing.
I think this is awesome, especially ever since Chris Charla came on board. I did watch the interview.
Nice.
And he did, remember how like me and you were talking about how like, when did we think about when indies actually started coming about, start to get noticed?
Yes,
and
yeah.
we were talking about how arcade on 360, right? And
yeah,
he brought
Live
that up
Arcade,
in the interview, and saying how that's pretty much where it started. The first State of Decay, that was an arcade game, and that's where I started playing.
Exactly.
Started loving that game. But over the years, once he's taken over, he just slowly started growing, and he has a passion. You see him; he's working hard, getting out there, trying to work with developers. Every year he's been working hard, bringing them in, giving them the tools that they need, and you can see that from the chart. I mean, look how much from what 1,000 in 2018, and then another 1,000 in about 2 years.
Yeah.
So
it's
crazy, and
it's amazing. Yeah, the increase is
and
intense.
I love seeing the love for indies on Game Pass, because I'm a big Game Pass user, and the value in there, no matter if it's AAA or not, plenty of indie love in there. And more to come.
Yeah, that's another massive part of the whole thing. I think they're sort of binding the two almost, aren't they? They're bringing together indie games, Idea Xbox, with Game Pass, and they're getting like day one releases and stuff like that. So the combination of the two of those is super strong, and that's a massive part of the reason I love Game Pass so much, like because the way they're sort of helping indie developers out, and we're getting them day one, a lot of these awesome indie games, which is fantastic in my opinion.
And of course, Coop helping me, I built a budget PC, and now start looking at the indies, the Humble Bundle, on Steam. Epic has free games, Prime has free games.
Yep.
So there's no lack of gaming, that's for sure.
Oh, there's definitely not. Yeah, if you can get through all those games, then you're better than man and me, to be honest. You must have invented a 36-hour day or something.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah. But so it's what was I going to say then? And also like the PC Game Pass, like, so there's a ton of games which aren't actually on the Xbox, which is fantastic too. Obviously it's not so good if you haven't got a PC, but obviously it's great if you've got a PC, which now we're both in the PC master race side of things. I mean that in a jokey way, obviously. But like there's a ton of games like Ape Out, and there's like the Hotline Miami collection, I believe, on there, and Greece is on there as well. Loads of games on there which aren't on the Xbox side of things, and it's awesome, really. But was there anything else you wanted to add at all about that? Like Chris, like you say, Chris Charla is a legend, really. He is doing fantastic things, and he's very modest about it as well, which makes things even better in my opinion, because
he's just great. He's a down-to-earth guy. I think Mike had him once on NOG.
That's awesome.
3 years back. He's been trying to get him, but he's been real busy. Even, and what I like is that he realizes that how much work they've done, and he realized that they've done a lot, but there's still a lot more to go. So he's not resting on the success that they've had lately. He knows that there's a lot more to go, to work with bringing games in, and whether you want to call them indies or not. So
yep, and that's definitely, bro. That's good stuff. I'm going to move down the on what I can see on the screen, so I'll make sure I get everyone. So I'm going to go next with Jubei, if you're ready, my man. Keen to know what you think. I love that, bro. Keen to know what you think about this in general, just broadly, really, what you think about the Idea Xbox program and this 2000 milestone.
So in regards to that, an indie game is actually the reason why I bought an Xbox One.
Nice.
When they showed Below at their 2013 reveal event, like, I didn't care when I was going to get it, but I knew I was going to get an Xbox to play that game. And It might have taken 5 years for that to finally drop, but I was so excited.
Yeah.
when it finally came out.
I love it. Yeah.
Like I didn't go to I didn't care about any other exclusive on there except that, and like I will bide my time until that came out, and I wasn't disappointed. I love that game.
Love it. That's cool, man.
As far as to start with ID, it actually got off to a pretty rocky start as far as them having like their little policies in place that kind of turned off a lot of indie devs.
That's
So it
true,
was
actually.
kinda-
Good shout. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, like indies were like, hey, I don't like that, that parody clause, and
That's right.
there's
Yeah.
a bunch of red tape they had to jump through.
Yeah, they
And it was
did.
like, it's so much simpler to just go somewhere else. So like that's why
Yeah.
you see like that flatten out and then it kind of jumps because like with the help of Chris, it's
That,
like, hey,
yeah.
this doesn't work for everybody. We need to make some changes. So I
Yeah.
am glad he definitely changed on the policy side of things to kind of entice more indies to actually use the platform and the program and throw their games up.
Yeah.
Kind of in the beginning, like there really weren't a lot of indie games on the Xbox like at their launch, but you couldn't say that about PlayStation. They had all the indie games,
Yeah.
just because they didn't have any
That
arbitrary
is true. They were
clauses.
showcasing that.
They've gone back
Yep.
and forth, haven't they? Because like the Xbox Live Arcade was doing really well on indie games when it was like 360, wasn't it? At the time. Then it became
Exactly. Yep.
Xbox One, and they dipped a lot, haven't they? Because of like what you just said, a lot of it. And then PlayStation had a little like push, and now it's sort of they go back and forth like they can't stay together kind of thing. They keep going, one's in front, one's behind, one's in front, one's. But now it seems like Xbox are getting pretty damn good headway on it, in my opinion. But
Oh, definitely. I mean, we got Cuphead out of it. We got really so, and Cuphead is absolutely amazing. I'm actually looking forward to that TV show whenever that decides
cool.
to come out.
nice, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Are you looking forward to the DLC as well, my friend?
Oh
For
yeah.
Cup-
I mean, I've been waiting for that for 2 years now.
You've just like forgotten about that for a while. Just don't want to get your hopes up for a while. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's best is
I
to-
think in general, like the program's amazing. At least where it is now. And then having Game Pass as a push, like you don't have to worry about, as an indie dev, you don't have to worry about the marketing. Like it's going to market itself. If it's in Game Pass, people are going to see it. And
Yeah.
because there's no cost of entry, more than likely people are going to play it. And if they love it, they're going to go out and buy it and support it or purchase your DLC for it. So overall, I think it's really set up to see indies thrive. And if you look at just the industry as a whole, like these big AAA studios and publishers like Activision and EA, they're really doing us a disservice as customers as far as releasing buggy or broken games or incomplete games, and we don't really get that on the indie side. Usually when you play an indie game, it's complete. It might have bugs here and there that they can patch out, but on the most part you are getting a full-fledged game
Yeah.
when
Definitely.
when you give your money to an indie dev. And I can't say that to the bigger studios and publishers.
Yeah, and got a bit of a bad throat today. Sorry. A lot of the time, they won't set a release date for themselves until they're actually ready. If you see what I mean, like release dates for indie games often will just come out like a month before the actual it's known. They'll say like a window of 2020 or something. Like what's just happened with Art of Rally. They've just literally said it's releasing on the 23rd of September, like a week ago. So it happens all the time. Like it's completely different to the way AAA will say like, yeah, it's going to come out next year on like March or whatever, and it way ahead of time. You know what I mean? So they'd rather sort of just wait and then know that we're ready, and then that way there's probably a lot of procrastinating and perfectionism going on, but that's all good though, because we get a good game at the end of it.
Exactly. As long as they focus on a good product, I mean that's really what's important. And I feel like indies, like they personify that. Like going into an indie game, there's varying levels of indie games. There are some bad indie games. It happens, but generally, if it's an indie game you've been interested in and you actually drop money on it, you're gonna have a good time.
Definitely, bro. Love it. Good take there, my friend. So yeah, Coop, bro, I'm interested to know what you have on this one, my friend. I'm sure it'll be very interesting. What's your take on the ID Xbox as a whole, and this 2000 milestone, bro?
Oh, I think it's huge.
Yeah.
And I think that like the biggest, kind of jumping off what Jube was saying, that the biggest thing, looking at this graphic, you got Cuphead launching there, the Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then, in 2 years, shipping as many games as they did in the first 5. I mean, that's just amazing.
It's amazing,
I think
Chris,
that
yeah.
just shows you how good Game Pass has been.
Yep.
you know, 4 indie games, and yeah, just and like you said, with 2000 in the work still,
Yeah.
and you know, it's just, you know, and also jumping off, Green Pass Gaming was asking in chat there,
Yep.
you know, it will indie prefer Xbox platform because of Game Pass, and where does that leave Sony?
Mm.
You know, I think you'd have to obviously ask an indie developer to,
Yeah.
you know, what they. I'm sure that's enticing, but again, you still have Sony with a huge presence in Europe. You know, I'm here in the States where, you know, it's sort of, you know, 50-50, but you get in Europe and Japan and, you know, parts of Asia and stuff, and obviously Sony's, you know, dominates. So that player base is going to be huge. So I think if you're a European developer, you know, Japanese developer or something, you're probably still looking at Sony first, and, you know, and now PC. I'm going to hope that every, you know, they get on every platform, and I don't get into the whole console war stuff. So I think
true. Yeah, it's always a dangerous area, isn't it?
yeah, totally. But I'm sure that's enticing though, because
Yeah.
you know, there are tons of games. You know, again, I mean, you mentioned my Steam library, which is
Yep.
just insane. But you go, you know, a lot of those games, you know, again, it's like Game Pass. I wouldn't have played if they weren't for Humble Bundle.
Yep.
You know, I get it. A lot of them I hadn't even heard of. You know, same with Game Pass. You know, some of those games kind of came out of nowhere that I probably wouldn't have experienced had it
Yes.
not been for Game Pass. So it just opens up, you know, so many doors and options. It's just, you know, both ways. It's a great thing, and I hope that Sony, and I'm sure they're taking notes. They're, you know, they're looking at this, going, okay, how, you know, and they do have the PS Now, which I don't know.
Yep.
I've tried that. You know, it's not quite the same experience, but
Yeah.
you know, hopefully they develop it into something more like, you know, what Game Pass is doing, and sort of expand that as well. So
Definitely.
it's awesome.
That's great stuff, bro. Yeah, no, that's awesome points as always. Yeah, that's it is a phenomenal thing, and the thing is, it's tricky because like you can say like, where does it leave Sony and stuff? I mean, it leaves them probably thinking we maybe need to do something like we need to step it up a bit, but at the same time they've got a massive player base, like you say. At the end of the day, the more options for indie developers, the better. It's they can take different routes. The good thing about Game Pass is, you know, I believe they get there's different setups they have, the different ways they can get paid essentially. Like there's the upfront lump sum I've heard, and there's also, you know, the per downloads I think as well, and stuff like that, and also maybe even playtime as well and things like that. There's different models I believe, but yeah, so it offers that security though. If you're getting a lump sum or something like that, and you know, like again I keep saying unto the end, but like I'm looking forward to that game, and it's going to be in Game Pass later this year, and they've said you know, they've got that security now that they know they're going to be in there. They can just knuckle down with the creative side of making the game and not worry, oh god, you know, is it actually going to sell or anything like that. At least they know they've got that at day one in there, and people are going to see it as well and download it and play it. So yeah, so Xbox Jesus, my friend, what's your take on this 2000 milestone for ID Xbox, and just in general the ID Xbox program? What's your take, brother?
Yeah, so I think they've done a fantastic job of getting that many games out to be released on Xbox.
Definitely.
And as you can see from the graph and just how it was, I think they had a lot of problem people finding the games a lot of time back on the 360, and even probably start of the Xbox One. But since Game Pass, it really helps promote some games.
Yes.
And the thing is, even if you look on new games and scroll down, and well, it's so easy to miss so many games that way. Do you know what I mean? And
Yep.
with the amount of releasing, and some you don't even know are released until the actual day.
Yeah,
Especially, you're like, oh, cool.
it's
there's
true.
another
Yep.
But it's fantastic that they're pushing it out. And the thing I love about indies is because they haven't got as much pressure overhead as, say, big companies to sell as well and make the numbers, because the big budget they put in, they can be creative. And
Yes.
that's the beauty of it. They got to focus on their design of the story and really bringing people into that experience. And I think sometimes AAA games could actually learn a lot from indie developers personally.
Well, definitely, I would 100% agree with that for sure. Yeah, no, that's awesome, bro. Yeah, I totally agree. And you know, the creative side of things is a big factor as well, for sure. But it's just good to see it flourish, and it's sometimes nice just to look at a graph kind of and be able to say, yes, it's doing awesomely well. They don't speak about numbers very often, Xbox, and it's, you know, they've come out there confidently and said, look how much we're doing for indie developers. We're proud of it, and I think that is awesome. And you know, onwards and upwards. I think, you know, it's only gonna grow if they keep going down this route, which is, it's absolutely cool. Absolutely.
Definitely, especially how they're already saying they're gonna have there's 2,000 games in the making.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Doubling what's already being released.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just gonna keep going. Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, like you say, they do get these games which just drop literally out of nowhere. You know, on like shadow drop basically. So yeah, it's, sometimes you have to keep your wits about you when games are coming out. But with the good thing about Game Pass is they don't usually get missed that way. It's sort of there, and they get you know, shouted about a little bit, and you know, people checking out the library, they can try something new they probably wouldn't have tried as well. People who don't play as many indie games normally, they wouldn't maybe go and check out one through purchasing one. They would do maybe through Game Pass and the ID Xbox program. So yeah, awesome. Good stuff, guys. That's very interesting takes, and yeah, it was kind of just a positive one to get going, and just something, you know, like, which I just, because, you know, I'm loving what Xbox are doing with things. So I thought it'd be cool to talk about this one and just cheer. So yeah, that's good stuff, guys. So moving on from there, we've got so these transitions I'm really bad at. So yeah, we've got, what we got now? I'm terrible at these transitions.
DARQ.
Yeah, we have got DARQ. Yeah.
DARQ.
What I'm trying to delay so I can press a button, which I can't find. Right, where is it?
Well, real quick, if you're delaying,
there it is. I found it.
when Sensei was talking. Oh, okay.
Nice. Go. You go ahead, my friend. You say what you're going to say.
I was gonna say when Sensei was talking about how in the beginning developers had a hard time with Xbox's procedures, you know, policies and so on.
Yeah.
And I do remember when I was at because I've gone to PAX South the last 6 years, and I remember in the beginning when I would talk to the indie devs there, and I would ask them, so are you going to be on Xbox or, you know, play? And at first they were kind of like, well, they didn't want to say much, but I remember a couple did tell me it was more difficult working with Xbox at the time because it's the policies that they had.
Yes.
But then over the years, I saw that now you start seeing indies to where now they were not just on PlayStation, but then you saw them on Switch and Xbox also, and, you know.
Definitely.
So yeah,
they've made a lot of progress, haven't they? For sure. Now
I saw the progress over the years.
It's good that you can see that firsthand from what Teal's talking into, and that's a good point, Bo. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. So I've just finally found the button and pressed on the screen the gameplay. So in the background, you can see some gameplay of a game called DARQ, which is spelled DARQ. And yeah, the reason that's on there is because it's a game which I've actually had in my backlog for a little while, and I actually played it last night, I have to admit. But it's a game that I've been like so keen to play, and I've been like, you know, I've just been super hyped for it. I know it sounds weird, I haven't actually played it, but I've watched people stream it, and I just know that it's an awesome game, and I only got around to playing it last night. But I played it last night, and it was so damn good. And I knew it would be because of the mechanics in the game. It's you'll notice in a minute when I walk, and now if you're looking at it, you see the physics. It's basically a physics manipulation game, and you can walk on the walls because you're basically in a lucid nightmare, I believe, and it's definitely a nightmare. It's a little bit horror, so just be prepared, guys. There might be a little bit of you won't get the I tell you, it's got one of the worst jump scares in a game I had last night. I was literally just shat my pants last night. I literally did, because it was yeah, I think it's a good idea if you play this game. It's not that scary, but
Did you wake up the wife?
Nearly. I was just frozen for about 5 minutes. But yeah, no, it was proper jump scares. But it's just brilliantly designed. This game has been made by one developer, a solo developer, and this is his first game as well. Like I say, so it's the developer's called Unfold Games, and the reason I brought it up as well is this is on Steam at the moment, so it's available. It's been available since the 15th of August last year. And it's done well. It's up to very positive rating on Steam. But recently they got a announcement for it. It was confirmed that it's going to be coming over to consoles as well, which is super awesome because I know a lot of people would miss out on it if it's just on PC. So it's been confirmed that it's coming to Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, and Switch. So all of those consoles, and it's coming later this year, I believe. So there's also 2 DLCs that have been made. I think you can actually download those right now on Steam, and they're available for free. And the developer done that as a thank you for the support as well, which I think is pretty damn amazing. Don't see that very much in AAA development. I just find it a really fascinating story. The game, it plays so well. It's just it's like a puzzler, but it's kind of like, you've got like Little Nightmares or something like that, but there's sort of
bit Limbo style.
Oh yeah, Limbo definitely in there as well, with the black and white, which is but it's just really cool. It's got like a supernatural kind of feel to it. Like you definitely feel like you're in a dream, which is actually the intent of the game, because at the start of each level you sort of float out of your body and you go into this sort of crazy dream world where you can walk on the ceilings and on the walls, and you can use all these kind of different weird puzzles, and the puzzles are so well done. This is the first puzzle in the whole game, so it's quite a simple puzzle, even though I'm doing it badly. But
you took the long way around. I was like, I don't understand.
All right, son. I was just learning the game. But anyway, I got there in the end, and then I walk off and realised that I needed to pick that up, so I should have pretty cut that out. But anyway, I'm going off. So yeah, I mean, the game though, it felt so great to play. It's amazing, done by one guy. It's just really cool that it's going to be coming out to all the consoles as well. He's actually teamed up with Bloober Team as well to I think it's Bloober he's teamed up with to actually make that launch happen, because it was probably a little bit much to launch across that for him just on his own, maybe he felt. But yeah, the game plays so well, and I just find it a really cool story because the game's done really well, like critically acclaimed. It's a small indie gem though, but many people probably don't know about this game. I know Coop knows about it because it's on his wish list. I noticed that. Yeah, I don't know if he's picked it up though, but yeah, I just think it's cool. They're giving the DLCs away as well to Steam owners, and the console version will be called the complete version, so it will come with all those DLCs bundled into it. But yeah, like the developer, I will stop talking in a minute. I'm just going to finish this bit off. The developer openly sort of has said that they learnt the ropes of making games while they were actually making this game. So I think it's just an inspirational story, really, and so much so they've actually written an ebook about it as well to help inspire like aspiring devs and stuff like that who are wanting to get into game development. So I think they're a pretty cool person for making such a cool game and doing all of that to give back as well. But yeah, I was just interested to know what you think. I mean, do you like sort of games like this, you guys? Puzzlers, where it's kind of like this puzzle right now is so cool. If you're watching, sorry, just to cut myself off, but the physics. What you've got to do on this bit, you've got to turn the whole ceiling and turn the room so that the weight will drop with gravity to the correct emblem which is on the wall, because you've got 4 emblems on each side of the wall. So you turn it and it falls onto the bit. I did it wrong that time, and then I realized what you have to do. But yeah, you have to turn the room orientation, and then it falls onto the correct button to trigger it, and then you do that puzzle. But the puzzles are so cleverly done. They're really interestingly done puzzles, different to what I've seen in any other game, really. But yeah, let's start with Fuzzback. Does this grab your attention, bro? What do you think about it getting a console release, brother?
Definitely. Yeah, I'd definitely play this. It's up my alley. The puzzles, just the style. Like we were talking about.
Cool style, yeah.
Not below, but the inside and the first one. What was the first one?
What, Limbo?
Limbo.
Limbo,
yeah,
yeah. I love
Yeah.
this stuff. Yeah.
Great game.
So
definitely,
yeah. If not, I'll get this on Steam then.
yeah. I
On the
recommend
big
getting
sale
it.
console. Yeah.
Yeah, grab it on Steam. Like you get and you can download the two. There's two free DLCs there. They're called the Crypt and the Tower. Definitely recommend picking those up. This game is a real gem in my opinion, and it deserves many a person to grab it and check it out. I think it's a really cool game. It's interesting and different, cool art style, but I love the puzzles as well. The mechanics are sort of spot on with it, which is always an important thing. But yeah, so you think you might pick it up, bro?
Definitely, yeah. Up
Good
my alley.
stuff. Good
And
stuff.
plus, it's cool to hear that they this is their first game and that they learn on the go. And
It is.
that tells if you have a passion, anybody can make a game. It's just a matter of figuring it out.
Yep. Exactly. It's a matter of having the sort of talent and the determination and the dedication as well, isn't it? Like, because it's obviously a long road, I imagine.
It is, and like on NOG, we had a couple of devs on that we talked about their first games that they made, and those two guys were graphic artists with the bigger studios. And so they decided to go out on their own,
Yes.
and they learned how to do the coding. And there is a group out there. There's a big group of other developers, people that are part of the industry. That some know the audio, some know to do the coding, and so on.
Yeah.
And so you can reach out to these people and ask for help. Some would do it for free. Some would charge a small fee. So
Exactly, yeah.
Also, like here in Texas and Austin has become a big gaming community, kind of like San Francisco. And one of the guys was saying that he and some of these other developers, they'll get together at a cafe and they just sit there and they just start talking about their games. They help each other out. And then there's some kind of deal called an indie jam or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
They'll
Yeah.
just get together in a van and they just work on the game together from scratch.
That's wicked.
So
yeah.
The help is out there if you want to do it. You just got to reach out.
Most definitely. That's a great point. Yeah, I've heard those indie jams before, actually. Yeah, that's cool stuff. It's kind of like a real creative environment where they just sort of jam it out as it's called, like. But yeah, no, great points there, buddy. And like you say, it is accessible now. The development is accessible. You have to obviously have some talent, creativity, and determination and dedication. It's a song, but yeah,
just watch some YouTube videos. You'll be all right.
Yeah, that's true.
You can learn anything on
It's the
YouTube.
gateway to anything these days. Most definitely, yeah. But that's great points, buddy. So yeah, Jubei Sensei, what do you think of a bit of dark action? Have you checked out Dark before? Have you seen it ever before, or does it grab your fancy, bro?
I have seen it. I haven't personally bought it yet.
Nice.
Because I'll probably get the console release.
Yep. Cool.
I have a PC, but I don't really buy games for it. Like a majority of the games on my PC were like given away through Epic Store.
I bet there's a fair few people like you out there that just grab the Epic ones.
I think the only game I've actually spent money on the PC for real would be Fire Pro Wrestling World of all things. So that's the only thing I actually bought.
The one you stepped over the mark for you, that grabbed you, that one. Just couldn't resist that one.
No, right. But just seeing the similarities, even as far as like art style and stuff with like Inside and Limbo, like I love both of those games.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
So this is definitely something that'll be up my alley. Plus, I mean, it's puzzles. I'm not really too big into the horror genre. Like to this day, I still can't play Resident Evil 7. Like I cannot. I refuse.
Yeah,
it's too
You're not
much
the only
for me.
one.
I don't play a massive amount of horror. This game's more like creepy. I don't know. Like this bit, if you're looking at the screen now, it was
Right.
It was a bit sketchy. It really makes you jump because it's really quite quiet, and then all of a sudden they'll come out at you. But it's just brilliantly designed though. It's clever.
Yeah.
And like the way you have to manipulate the sort of the orientation and stuff. It just It's really cool.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's a simple concept. Like it's a super simple concept. So it's really cool to see people's thought process on how to turn that into like a full-fledged thing. Because like
definite.
trying to wrap your head around how like the environment and everything's moving. It's like
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
exactly. Yeah, most definite, bro. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's cool that the complete release will be out in they say 2020 as well. So I think it shouldn't be too long to wait for this one as well. I just want to quickly shout out a few people before we move on. What's up, Rodimus J? Thanks for popping in, my friend. Matt Burns, awesome to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming by. And Christopher Hart, thanks for popping in, my friend. And of course, Mike from NLG. It's always good to see you, brother. The GUG Gamers United Guild, brother. So awesome to see you in there, my friend. And what's up, Daz, again, because I missed you earlier. Still feeling
Just
the
shout him out every time, buddy.
Yeah, every time now. Yeah,
Just trying to get back in his good books.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. But no, thanks everyone who's in there. We really do appreciate you.
That's right. He's
massively.
on drugs. He don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll forget about it tomorrow. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, so Coop, bro, you've got it in your wish list. Was it just put in there on a whim, or do you remember this game?
I do remember this game. Like you were complaining about it being on your backlog. Yeah, this thing's been on my wish list for like 2 years. And, I don't remember where I saw it first. It was mentioned at one of the expos or something, and I just thought, because I love like Little Nightmares and Limbo, and that's about it. Like I'm with Jube. I can't play like Resident. Those games are just too much for me anymore. Even Alien Isolation just freaked it. I was out, man. That thing I was hiding under tables.
It's the first person.
I think you'll be fine.
First person. I'm like, I can't do it.
This game is
VR for that, huh?
It's more comparable to sort of like Little Nightmares, kind of creepy. That you'll be if you've played Little Nightmares, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I can handle that level creepy.
Yeah,
and kind of like that aesthetic and style to it, and I enjoy puzzle games too. So
yeah.
I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know why, that I haven't actually
hasn't been forever. To give you a little benefit, it's only since August 2019 it came out, so it's not as bad as some games. So, you know what I mean?
Well, it's been on my wish list since before it came out. I guarantee you.
Oh right, fair enough. I put it in one of my videos, not to try and claim the credit. We might have seen it somewhere else, obviously, but it was in one of my monthly ones. So.
I think so,
You could have seen it in there, but I was up for it then, and I just didn't get around to playing it for so long. It's silly how it happens.
I almost want to say that Daz streamed it too, or something.
Oh, really?
Somebody from the community I remember seeing.
Okay.
You see a game somewhere, and I go, I'm a habitual wish lister, and I'll throw it on my wish list just as a reminder, And then,
definite.
And then you forget about it because I hardly ever check the wish list, and then you go, oh yeah, that game, I forgot about that one. Let me look at. But yeah, for whatever reason, but I'll grab it.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually on sale a little while ago. They might have another sale again. It's only $15.99, I think, like $15.49 or something like that at full price anyway. So it's not exactly
right.
Okay, I don't think it's the massivest game, because I think I'm about, I don't know, I think it's probably about 8 hours or something like that, maybe even slightly less. I'm not sure. But now they got the DLC. Obviously, that adds on to a more sort of bigger package as well, especially getting the DLCs for free, which I think is amazing that they just doing that for people. As a kind of thank you for the support. But yeah, it was the IGN did a little stream of it recently as well, sort of highlighting it, and the developer was speaking about the new package. But yeah, I thought this might be up your street, and a lot of people's street really, because it's just a very kind of stylish, but it's not all looks. It's mechanically really sound. Like this bit where you turn in the perspective of the street on the axis. It's like on the crossroads or whatever. It's just clever because that you've got different things going on, and you have to sort of like do things on one and then turn the axis, and then it will trigger things that you can do on the other. It just works. It's hard to explain. I only played it last night. I should really have a better idea of it, but they're quite ingenious, really, the puzzles. And yeah, I think that as a core with the awesome looks on top of it, it really, you know, makes it obviously a fantastic game. So yeah, anything else on that, Coop, or are you good for that one?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep,
Again, I'll be picking it up at some point.
Sweet, bro.
Or play it
Nice.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's a really
Humble
good game
bundle.
to stream, actually, if you're going to do any more streaming in any time.
There you go.
Yeah, I was like thinking I could stream this, but I probably would have screamed. So
Then you should stream it.
yeah, you should stream it, actually, Craig. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, when it comes to consoles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
I'll
Sorry, I
stream
forgot about that. Yeah. So, what do you think of it, buddy? You think you
No,
might pick up?
Yeah, I think it's got a great style, and
Yep.
I've really enjoyed Limbo and games like that. And
Nice.
Little Nightmares, fantastic games. And it's nice when a developer, you can see, like, the basic mechanics are basic, but they've been very creative with how to do it to make
Yep.
it an interesting game.
Definitely.
So I think they've done a really good job, especially for their first game as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Another thing about sorry, I won't cut you off. You carry on. I'm terrible for cutting
And
people.
I think even the lighting's quite cool, like
Yeah.
how it highlights different areas. It's not always perfect if you want to be perfectionist, but it
Yeah.
does look kind of cool. and
It's
a
kind
bit
of dreamy. That's probably
spooky.
why it's sort of a bit
Yeah.
like, yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, definite. There are a
And
couple
I'll
of
definitely
bits.
go for them achievements.
Yeah, actually, I was looking at the Steam achievements, and I've played like about half of the game. By the way, I haven't finished it
Yeah.
yet, and I haven't got any achievements yet. I was like, what?
No,
It's
a
what
lot of notable ones then.
It's yeah, I think it's there's like obviously one for finish the game, and there's other ones as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's certain things you have to do in the game to trigger them and stuff. Yeah.
There'll probably be little Easter egg kind of achievements.
Yeah, it's
A lot
only
of the time
12
you get
12
them on
achievements,
puzzle
so
games.
it's kind of like, yeah, there'll definitely be some. But this bit here where you have to click this severed hand, and you have to get it onto the bit. It's just kind of weird. There's like a hand on the floor, and you have to get 4 of them. It's kind of like really quirky and odd, which in a good way. It's kind of like Tim Burton almost, like, you know.
Oh, definitely, it's got a little bit of that style.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's a real gem, and yeah, I highly recommend checking it out for anyone who's watching. And you know, it's on Steam now, so if you wanted to grab it on there, and later this year, it's coming for all consoles, which is awesome. I think it'll do really well, and yeah, it's if you wanted to look up the developer, it's Unfold Games. So you find them on Twitter if you wanted to look them up. But yeah, cool. I just wanted to share a bit of this game because I've really enjoyed it, and it's lived up to my expectations because I've been looking forward to playing it for a while. And yeah, it's awesome to see that, like, when games are like just on PC, it's a proof kind of that it's done well enough for it to go that extra step, if you see what I mean. It's been successful enough for them to get that console release, so that's always a nice sign that the indie game has done good, and now it's going out to the further world in the console market. But yeah, good stuff, guys. Okay, so moving on from there, the next topic is going to be the juicy one, which could go in many directions. So I might just leave that gameplay rolling for a little bit longer, and I'll change it in a second. So the next topic, I thought it'd be fun to do something a bit different, which isn't necessarily news or whatever. And it's kind of a question that I have been thinking about for ages, to be honest. I've thought about doing a video about this topic, but I think it's cool to do it on a podcast because there'll be different opinions, and it will definitely be a question where, you know, we won't all have the same, won't align all the same on it, and it will be potentially quite interesting to see what everyone has to say. And the topic basically is, what is an indie game, is the easy way of saying it. What defines an indie game? And yeah, basically, so where do you fall, as in what an actual indie game is? As in, you know, do you believe an indie game is only a game made by a person who self-publishes, etc., etc.? What does it take for it to be indie? creative freedom, whatever. You know what I mean? Is that question clear enough without me going any more into detail on the question? Does it make sense to you guys? Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. So basically, like we say, it's what defines an indie game. So I'll really be interested as well to hear your thoughts in the chat, because this will be interesting to see where you fall on the indie question, because it can. The lines are quite blurred these days. What is indie? There's some people. There's like indie studios being signed up by Xbox, by Microsoft, and maybe they're indie still, maybe they're not. All kinds of questions. But I think we should just jump into this and see what Fastback has got to say about how he defines what an indie game is. Do you want me to come back to you?
I really never really. Yeah, you jumped. No. Because when I was listening to that interview with Chris Charla, and they were talking about this, and I agreed with some of the stuff that they were saying, and I was thinking to myself that the way I look at it is, the indie games are from smaller developers, whether one person to a small team. You look at Ninja Theory; they had about how many people? 15 or so people on Bleeding Edge. And I think Grounded from Obsidian had a small team.
Yep.
But the way I look at it is more so that the indie games are more to where it's an individual, it's their thought, their imagination, being self-published. They do try to find funds out there on their own, to where it's all on them. They're not being influenced by a publisher, by money. It's what they are coming up with on their own. Sometimes their first thought may not be their first game. And they'll go up to something else that might be a little bit easier. And again, that's on their decision. So I that's the way I kind of look at it, that it's not so much that it's, if you're a dev and you're working at a big studio, it's not so much your game. It's a franchise. It's someone else's game that they thought of, and all you're doing is working on the game itself, the assets or whatever. But an indie game is someone's personal game themselves that they came up with. They wrote the story, they came up with the graphics, whatever. Even if they, like I was saying earlier, they reach out to the gaming community of developers, ask for help.
Yes. Yep. But outsourcing some of the smaller elements.
Yeah. So, but when you look in Game Pass, right, and you're looking for a game, there's not a category there saying indie games by itself, right?
That's right.
Indie game, to me, an indie game is just a game. It's a game like anybody else. Doesn't matter AAA, the budget, whatever. It's a game. So more so for me, it's just another game. If I'm interested in it, I'm gonna play it. I don't care if it's one person who made it or 300 people. So
definitely, no, that's the best way to be.
I don't know if that makes it clear on what I think an indie game is.
No, it certainly.
I think it's changed over the years. Like, right, on 360 we were calling them arcade games, and then as we came into this generation, we were calling them indie games.
Yep.
But now I feel more so that they're just games, and if you want to call them indie, I guess it's more so about the budget and not influenced by a publisher.
Yep. So you're saying it's not influenced by publisher. Yeah, your points there definitely interesting. So does the size of the studio come into it for you as well, or is it just?
Like you look at before, you look at Obsidian, Remedy, are they considered? They're a big studio, but they were independent studios, right? Insomniac, are they considered, some of their games considered indie games? Even like a CD Projekt Red, they're an independent studio.
Yep.
I don't know how
the only thing with those people like that is the funding issues are they've different people behind the scenes funding, see what I mean? That's where that's slightly different. They do self-publish and stuff like that, but this topic basically is to get a kind of, there's no right answer kind of thing, because there is it's interpretation. I know it sounds weird, but there is a lot of grey area in this particular topic, and there's not a definitive. There is obviously an area where it falls in where there is obviously some definitive answers to it, but
I guess my experience going to PAX South for these past few years is that, to me, that you have on the floor, you have these individual booths, and you have developers there, small developers, and I guess you can call what they're working on as indie games, because they are their own personal games that they came up with.
Yeah,
a lot of it's their budget, and they're doing it on their own. So that, in a way, I guess you could describe that as an indie game. It's just a self-published, finance, and someone's own game, their own imagination, their idea.
Definitely,
like what we're seeing being played right now.
Yep, it's their baby, and it's their conceived idea, isn't it, that they've carried through to the end. What I'm going to do myself is I'm going to hold off my whole thoughts on this particular one until everyone else has gone, and then I'm going to say what I think, if you know what I mean. So, I want everyone to have their fair crack at the whip at this one. So is there anything else you wanted to add about that? I think that all sounds great to me. I mean,
no, I think that's good. If I keep on talking, I might confuse.
An indie game is in Halo Infinite.
It might change every time I keep. So,
no, it is a weird one. That's why I thought it was a really good topic to talk about, because it's one that sort of a lot of people sometimes wonder about. I mean, we could push further on it. I could ask you. I mean, maybe I will. Where do you fall on? This is quite an interesting one. So Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Ori and the Blind Forest. Do you still see both of those? And obviously Moon Studios. Do you still see them as an independent studio? They aren't owned by Microsoft, and they're quite large now.
They're independent studio. That's their game. They came up with that game. I don't think they were influenced by Xbox, but I think Xbox was there for support. So it is an independent game. I think Ori is still an indie game, because it's their game themselves.
Exactly.
Not influenced by anybody else.
Yeah, that's what I feel, because obviously it's published by Microsoft Studios, that game. So that's where it gets a little bit tricky. It does that's where the interpretations may differ from person to person. Like, for example, Studio MDHR, that game is not published by Microsoft. That's published by Studio MDHR Cuphead. So you could say that is indie, and maybe Ori isn't, but I still feel that Ori is, personally. If I really wanted to be strict about it, I would say Ori and the Blind Forest definitely is, and maybe Ori and the Will of the Wisps starts to get more questionable. I just said I wasn't going to talk first, so I'm not going to talk anymore. Okay, so let's move on. We can come back and forth. If you wanted to go again on this, feel free to chime in. But let's go with Jubei on this one next. I'm interested to hear what you got to say, brother.
I kind of look at it in even the indie movie and the indie music scene. Or in that sense, I guess you retaining creative control over your product. Kind of when you you can get publisher help, but as soon as that publisher owns your IP, you're not independent anymore. A lot of it comes down to you might need the financial backing of a publisher, or however you decide to fund the game, but retaining your rights to your game, your creative freedom to your game. That's really what makes an indie game. You're not owned by whatever publisher, unless the publisher is yourself. That's the only way that'll make sense. So
you're going quite strict on it then. That's cool. That's interesting. So you would probably say that Ori and the Will of the Wisps is not an indie game, because Microsoft own the IP.
Microsoft do own the IP, so I would say that wouldn't be an indie game at that point, just because they don't own the IP.
But it's a weird one, because they are an indie studio. But it's a weird one, isn't it? It does get quite confusing.
It is. It's, I mean, just even CD Projekt Red, that is a huge studio, but they're still independent. They still own the rights to all their shit. So
So do you feel that the size of the studio matters when it comes to defining?
I don't, because like I said, CD Projekt Red is huge. They're just as big as a AAA studio. So that's actually owned by a publisher. So I don't think size really matters. even Double Fine before they got acquired by Microsoft.
Yep.
That was a pretty big studio.
Yeah.
You know, they were definitely getting publisher money, but they still owned. I think no, because Monkey Island I think is owned by Disney or some shit. So
LucasArts,
there's a couple.
isn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple of games they don't own, but there are games that they themselves own. So,
but yes, like because they were even publishing, weren't they? They've stopped that now.
Yes.
Double Fine.
Yep, they did have a publisher wing. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it is interesting one. So you're more on the sort of like side of if you have the creative freedom, that means you are the indie setup.
Yeah. And you also see indies take more risks just because they're not answering to somebody in a suit that only cares about the financial aspect of it. They take artistic risk. They touch on topics that aren't typically mainstream or put out there as mainstream. They have the freedom to be able to do that because it's not necessarily about dollars and cents to an indie dev as it is to like a AAA.
Yep. No, definitely. Like I said, I'm gonna trying to hold back, but like that's kind of the I can't resist. My if I put it into two words, I would say creative freedom are the two words. What I believe, it is. I've just revealed my bit, but I feel like it comes down to creative freedom, and because the word indie is independent, isn't it? So you're independent of being in binds from other people, so you're independent of anything else which ties you to do things in a different way, so you have that creative freedom still. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it back. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, so was there anything else you wanted to add to that, Jubei? That was a good answer in my opinion.
No, I don't think so. I'm kind of looking forward to see other people's take on that.
Yes, it is interesting. One.
Like I said, my main thing is you can make what you want. Like that's like the beauty of being an indie dev. You can start with a concept and take it all the way as long as you have the funding and the manpower and the will to get there.
Most definitely, bro. Yeah, that is, that's what it's all about. Creative, and that's why we get all these awesome, like, interesting games. That creative freedom leads to innovation and fresh ideas. So can I just ask you one quickly? Could you just nudge your mic up a tiny little bit, please, buddy? If you have any more to nudge, and
yep.
Sorry to do this in the middle of a show, but Fastback, can you just turn yours very, very slightly down, if you don't mind? Very slightly. Sorry, guys, because getting you're low and you're high, and I'm just sort of doing it on the fly at the moment. So anyway, let's move on. Coop's got some awesome ideas about this. I'm betting. So what's your take on it, Coop, bro?
I'm with Jubei. I think Jubei was spot on. I think that's that like you said, that creative control. I used to think an indie game was self-published, like Fastback was saying.
Yep.
But that's gotten the whole industry has changed so much.
Yeah.
And that you can't say that anymore. IP is a big one, and again, Ori is a good example. As far as the second game goes, I mean, who knows if they wanted to make that second game, but maybe there was an obligation. So does that take away that indie sort of freedom?
Yes. Yeah.
And,
exactly.
Another one, like Compulsion. I'm kind of curious to see because they did We Happy Few, which I think initially what that game was, or the idea of the game sort of, and maybe even their plan for the game sort of got changed when there was some pressure. I know they got, I think it was Gearbox or something. Didn't Gearbox publish that initially? And kind of late in the game, though, they had actually developed the game for the most part. I think it was in early access already, and then Gearbox jumped in to get a full release to help them out financially.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, and doesn't that and then you go, okay, well, does that influence? Do they kind of have to at that point? Once you're sort of beholden to a publisher, does it put pressure on to make compromises and get it out in a certain amount of time, where you sort of lose that creative control? So yeah, it's an ongoing, sort of ever-changing, ongoing thing. That's the definition of an indie game has, definitely, changed a lot in the last decade, you know, even the last couple of years
definitely
with stuff like Game Pass and, you know, and like I said, you know, like, you know, studios getting sort of, you know, bought up, and then you know, you have a lot of like Devolver, you know, you have a lot of these sort of publishing companies that are coming out and
they're sort of
you
like
know,
indie focused publishers, aren't they, kind of thing, which is
right. Even like, you know, what's the one what's the Take-Two
not Take-Two Interactive,
what's the Private Division?
Oh, Private Division, yeah. And then you've got like annapurna, you know, haven't you? Annapurna are pretty big, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So you've sort of got these publishing houses that are just, which I don't know if they, you know, I think those developers actually retain their IPs though, right? Or does developer, like Devolver, or
they have their own IPs? Yeah, I believe. Yeah, it's because it kind of gets confusing. I believe the indie developers who publish, you know, through like Devolver or whatever, say like Katana Zero or whatever, it's still owned. Yeah, I believe by the developer. So, it's because we're like, obviously they're Devolver are obviously massively popular and very successful, so they're obviously quite a rich company, but it's there because they focus on indies. It becomes this weird sort of like definition of it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, but I think like Jubei was saying, I think he's right that, you know, if they retain control, creative control of that IP, then, you know, that's still sort of, you know, that, you know, the whatever an indie game means anymore, but that still sort of falls into that, you know, category, if you will.
Definitely, yeah. So do you feel like budget and size of the team matters for you, or is it more like, again, like a creative freedom is the main thing only? Say if there was a game being made by 100 people and or like even like say Cyberpunk or something, is that an indie game for you?
Man, that's tough. Somebody mentioned, I think it was Stubbs mentioned, you know, Bungie too, Destiny, because you know, now they're basically independent, they're self-publishing now, and so it's like
it's tricky. I personally you go with your answer. You go with your answer. No, I'm gonna stop. I can't do it. I'm sorry, guys.
What do they call like a triple I game?
Oh yeah,
you know, a triple I.
I like it.
You know? And I didn't coin that. That was, you know, that's been out there for a while. But yeah, triple I. You know, sort of the bigger independent. You know, sure, it's an independent. You know, technically speaking, but yeah, to call it an indie game is a little bit of a stretch, just because
they kind of go into that double A.
Yeah, double A is another one, isn't it? Which is sort of
right.
It gets a little
single A, double A, triple A. I don't know. All that stuff has gotten so.
I've even heard quadruple A now. I'm like,
quadruple A, yeah, because that's that's just the way. It's the way of saying excess, isn't it? It's sort of saying like they're kind of like is better than it. That's the thing. It becomes a sort of spin-off, doesn't it, to the ones that are already established. I feel like the AAA is the one, and indie, and then you've got AA, which is saying we're not quite as big as a AAA, and then you've got quadruple A saying we're bigger than a AAA. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happened. They've come as like a
I am money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we print money and we own the world. we're gonna take it on. But yeah, definitely. I just want to quickly say hi, Chrislyn Williams. Thank you very much for popping in. This game is DARQ, as Fastback just said, that you can see on the screen at the moment. And C-Script, thanks for popping in, my friend. It's awesome to see you in the chat. And thanks everyone else who's hanging. Sorry, buddy.
Kristen Williams, that's my daughter.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
No, I was just she, and in fact, give her a shout out. She just started university.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
And her major is graphic artist.
Nice.
So right now she's in class for a game engine, which we're learning on Unreal Engine.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
And then she has an animation class, and so she's been showing me a couple things that she's learning that developing is not easy.
No.
Like,
yeah, I bet. Yeah.
They're showing her real quick, like, you got to schedule and you got to do so many hours, and I want this much done.
Yeah.
You know, in those hours. So yeah.
Exactly. It's more
hearing her side of learning how to make a game or make an animation film. So it's fun to find out where, after she graduates, you know, what her next chapter in life.
Yeah, like real world practices, what you can put it into. Yeah. Definite. That's super cool. Yeah, no, fantastic. I was slightly jealous in a way. You know what I mean? Doing the course like that.
But you know super what I'm going to be doing when I retire? I'm going to be either watching these whatever she makes or
Living off
testing
her
these
money.
games.
Yeah.
I'll be an
Yeah.
insider.
Yeah, you'll be starting your first Quintet A studio, if that if it makes sense. Quinte studio. I don't know. Parachute. Anyway, right. Scoote. So, what was I saying? This it's good actually because this game is called DARQ Crystalline, and there is actually a book which you can check out. Like I said earlier, there's an ebook which you might be interested in if you're getting into development for this game, which was written by the developer on his experiences for aspiring developers. So you might want to check that out. I'll give you the link fastback after the show.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's a free ebook, so pretty cool. Xbox Jesus, my friend Craig, aka Craig. What is your thoughts on this topic, my friend?
Okay, well, to me, it's quite a hard one because I think a lot of games, indie games or indie developers that progress well by doing well, they do start becoming bigger companies, which they still might have their independence of what they make, but just look at Minecraft.
Yep.
Like, it started off with one guy. So he was definitely an indie developer.
Exactly,
then.
it's without a doubt an
and
indie.
now
it started off.
It's literally a corporation.
It's the biggest indie game
is
ever.
Massive.
It's the biggest.
It's the biggest selling game in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which,
it is.
to be fair, fair play to him. Like, one guy started that, and now he's created this thing which is even taken over sales of Tetris. Do you know what I mean?
Craziness, yeah.
I know some people might mock it, but he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's an amazing thing. It's a real amazing success story for sure. But yeah, so do you feel like that has transcended the indie
definitely.
classification?
I still want, even though it's funny, even though it's a massive game, I find it hard to call it like a AAA game.
Yep.
Do you
still class it as an indie now, or you probably
It's really hard because the definition of an indie game is kind of hard to tell. But I suppose I'd probably call it more of a double A. So it's kind of progressed.
It's a very weird one. That is a tough question to answer, I have to say.
Even though it's got the budget of a quadruple A, do you know what I mean? Because now
it's a different story. I mean, personally, I would probably not class it as an indie anymore.
No, the same.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot with an indie game for me, it isn't even just self-publishing because I find there's a lot of indie developers that do use publishers.
Yes, there are.
And I still personally think they're indie games.
Yes.
I don't know the full story of if they get a little bit extra help with the money because they're doing it through a publisher, or they just find it easier them working on the game stuff and then them sorting out the getting it to the consoles or the PC or the Switch, and maybe they think
sort of like the marketing side of
hard
things.
Enough.
Yeah, so it takes away all that. I think a lot of it is that it takes away all those extra stresses where they're not experienced in marketing or whatever, being able to get that out there. There may be some funding that goes on as well, and things like that. I'm sure. But I don't know the ins and outs of that. But yeah, I think the way they can get their game distributed and stuff is the main appeal probably for them.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't personally myself say it's only self-published because I still see a lot of indie games published by others that I would say are indie games it's like take Ratalaika games. They're all done by different developers.
Yes.
But they're all done by Ratalaika, aren't they?
Yeah.
To actually get them out. And to me, I think the only thing they might have in their eyes is about having easy achievements.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Personally, I think that might be a Rat Lake thing
That
to
must be
do
the
the selling
top
point.
of their list,
Maybe
isn't it?
that's what their side is.
That's Daz's
I don't-
Daz's
so
domain and the achievements on
Do you
Ratalaika.
say they're not an indie game because maybe that's it? I don't know if that's the case, but it because they all mostly are like that. There are some that are a bit out of that where you
Yeah,
do actually have to complete the game because
sure.
some of them you don't. But it, I think defining the term indie game is a hard one. But
Yeah,
I think a lot of the time we can say that they have very creative ideas and they don't have these overheads so much of things saying you got to do this, you got to make it in a way that people, do you know what I mean? And sometimes it fails because all ideas do, even AAA games do.
yes,
Do you know what I mean?
definite.
And a lot of the time they don't even take the really high risk because they want to make money.
Yeah,
Do you know
they're
what I
just
mean?
thinking about what's gonna, make the money at the end of the day. They're not gonna take the risk and it's not tried and tested, if you know what I mean. So, oh yeah, look, we
No,
can look at
and
that statistic and that shows that that's sold in that way.
definitely. And I think that is the beauty of indie games because they can take ideas of things that you didn't even ever think would be in a game
Yeah,
and it becomes very creative. But I think to define an indie game like so black and white is quite hard.
it is. It is very hard. Yeah, definitely. I mean, what? Just I don't know
But
if-
money, I think, is a big thing. Funding.
Yep.
But also, if you have massive teams, then I think because I think the thing with big teams is you got to remember, as a whole, games actually don't cost much to make because it is just people creating it on a computer.
Yeah, it's
Do you
more
know what
like
I mean?
the
But
time.
it's paying
Y-
for people. It's
yeah.
paying for time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got them other bits to get it onto the consoles or whatever you want to go onto. So I think like the reason why indie developers have smaller teams, not just because it's easier to be creative together as a group, because even so I'm a musician, if you go
Yeah.
really big in groups, it does get hard and you end up having a leader that more drives what's happening. Do you know what I mean?
You sort of lose the message almost in like,
Yeah, sometimes it's
too many
like the
cooks.
Queen Ant and you're the little ants.
yeah, exactly. No, I can
Whereas
definitely see
with
that.
smaller groups, you generally kind of bounce off each other. You have them ideas and you create this beautiful thing together.
Most definitely, yeah, and the vision is clearer. You can become more fixed on your vision and carry it through to the end goal. I feel like that's a big problem. Not to go off topic or anything, but the Halo Infinite situation, I personally feel like that is the problem. There's too many different creatives and there's no clear leader taking them in. That's the thing. You've got a team of hundreds of people. You're gonna have to have someone who's telling you this is the direction we're going. If there's people, lots of creative people trying to sort of get their ideas there, it's going to become muddied in the water, isn't it? If you see what I mean.
Yeah, that could be it, being such a huge game, and plus the
Exactly.
franchise stuff. Like it's a lot to But then you can look at No Man's Sky, right? They're a small studio. I
Yep.
guess you could consider them independent.
Yep.
But they were being published and shown on the spotlight from Sony, right? So
Yeah.
that's a lot. That was a lot of pressure on them. And if they were given it, let's say if they stayed independent and didn't and were able to finish exactly what they envisioned, because when I saw that trailer when it first came out, I was like, oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely.
But then when it first came out, there was a lot of this and that's not done. There was a lot of issues. But now you see the way they are now. It's like that's the way they are now. What they have done is what I saw in that trailer.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it's hard with that one because they were pretty much an indie developer, but it was very sold as a big game. And I think that's what kind of messed it up a little bit, I think, to begin with.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
when you get it shown, because they pretty much advertised it as a AAA game. In
That's
my
a good
eyes.
point,
Yeah.
actually. I think that's
It
a
should
good.
have been an
They
early
did.
access.
Where
Yeah.
really, yeah, if it was an early access, people would have taken it more like, oh, well, it's a good start. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see it growing into something cool.
Yeah.
But I think the problem with that is that maybe they wanted to promote it too much, almost.
I know what you mean.
And then because the thing is, the bigger, it's funny, if you call yourself a AAA or a double A or whatever, expectations are higher.
Yes.
If you call yourself an indie gamer or indie developer, expectations, don't get me wrong, I love indie games. They're amazing. They do
Yep.
fantastic stuff. But expectations aren't as high.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yep.
I think, in a way, how you define yourself as a developer makes a difference as well.
It's a good point, buddy. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is smart, definitely. Yeah, like with No Man's Sky, there was, it did feel like they were promoting it as a big game,
Definitely.
and they're not. They were.
Because everyone knew
yeah.
about it, didn't they? Like,
Yeah.
everyone knew it. Because with a lot of indie games, they don't usually have as much like showing off. Do you know what I mean? There was adverts, there was everything about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've actually just released another game. I don't know if anyone knew about that, which is called The Last Campfire. It's one of the.
Okay.
It's called like.
I was
they-
going to mention that in our September release games.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
You spoiled it.
I'm so sorry.
Spoiled
Is this a transition? Transition?
Yeah, just the worst segue ever. What was I going to say about it? I will say a very small amount of it, but I was just going to say that was not their full studio though. It's only they called it a Hello Game
Oh,
short.
Okay.
So like like they call like films shorts sometimes. So like
So they're
SHORT.
almost advertising it as an indie, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all this small scale kind of
Yeah.
intimate game sort
Well,
of, you
fair
know what I mean?
play.
Which is cool. I mean, like even their full studio isn't big anyway. I mean, they might have grown a little
Yeah.
bit, but I think 4 people made that game though, so it's a very small, intimate kind of
Yeah,
setup
definitely.
for the Last Campfire. But I'll let Coop talk about the rest of it if he's going to in a bit. But yeah, no, I love all your takes, guys. I mean, I think this topic could probably gone on for the whole podcast, to be honest with you.
Actually, sort of springing off of this.
Yeah.
If this is a topic that interests you, I highly recommend you check out Joe Song of Iron, his YouTube channel. He has got some great like developer diary
Definite.
videos that sort of talks about how the indie development process is.
Yeah.
I've really been getting into his videos.
I
lately,
love
and
him.
he's
Yeah,
got a
I've been watching
great
him.
channel.
Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
good. Did you see the recent one? Where it had on the thumbnail, it had idea Xbox in the middle on the thumbnail. Do you remember that one? But he's done quite a few, hasn't he, recently?
Yeah,
what
he's been doing it for a while. Yeah,
Yeah, he has. He was doing developer diaries, all sorts. I tell you what, though, he is going to make that release date, I reckon, because I think he's a really efficient worker. He seems super to be moving it forward so quickly. Every time he's focused, and because when he said he's been working on it a year, and he's going to release in spring. I have to watch out what I say because he said he sometimes watches this. Actually, he said so. But no, I didn't want to. I respect him greatly because I was going to say he's that seems no time at all. I almost thought, wow, how are you going to manage that release date? But the way he's moving on with it, it's an intimate experience. It's a 2-hour experience he's aiming at, and it's going to be rich and it's almost like a strong connection to those 2 hours kind of thing, rather than diluted down long and pointless experience, if you see what I mean.
To be honest, I think AAAs can learn from that. I think
Yeah.
the issue I have with
I
them is they try to go so big,
Yes.
but they forget about detail and getting into that experience of what you're in.
Most
And
definite.
that's the great thing with indies. Even though they might not have the ability to say have as much detail and stuff as maybe a bigger company does, but with what they do have, they do put a lot in it. Like everything looks like it's meant to be there. Like it gives substance to the game. Do you know what I mean?
Well, most definitely, yeah. Because when it's so diluted down and it's so long, you don't.
Yeah.
It's not like potent that bit, that moment in the game doesn't stand out as like, it could even be really good, that part. There could be something that's great in a 40-hour game, but you might not even see it. Or one of the side quests could be great in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but you might not play it. But
know.
like, what I mean, if they
thing.
actually focused it like and really enriched it and stuff like that, it's like you were saying, Craig, I think that's spot on. Like, I mean, I'd sometimes games being longer, that's cool by me, as long as they can keep it interesting and always like
varied.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't mind playing Hollow Knight for over like 100 hours because I love it, but like, it was a damn good game. But
hey, I played 7 Days to Die for hours and hours, and most people said they didn't like it.
Fair enough, buddy. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but like some of those 2-hour experiences and like this game is still on the screen. I will be changing this in a minute. We move to the next topic.
I think people know the game by now.
They don't need to play it anymore.
Real quick too is that also with indie games, they we've had a couple that shown up nominated for Game of the Year, right? Like Celeste.
Yes.
I can't remember what the other one was.
Dead Cells.
But they make just as big of impact as these big budget AAA games.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to always focus on.
Celeste is one of my favorites, and it really does make a big impact, that game, as perfectly said, because it's not just a really tight, awesome, fun like platformer, but it's also got a really cool like narrative to it as well, which is like based on anxiety, and it's really nicely done actually. And and the whole game, you're climbing a mountain in the whole game. That's what you're trying to do, get to the top of the mountain, and it's kind of like a metaphor for the anxiety of beating your anxiety. And so all through the game, it's challenging you and stuff like that through that. So there's so much more to it than just a really awesome tight platformer. It's also a very heartfelt game in that way too. That's why I think it's such a good game.
Yeah.
Definitely play Celeste if you haven't already. And if you find it too hard, there is a mode you can change to make it a little bit easier for you, because it is quite a tough game. So yeah, anyone else got anything to say? I mean, like I say, I think we could go around a few more times even to to sort of iron this one out. But just quickly, if you haven't said it already, I apologise if I've missed in the chat, guys. Let us know, where you fall on indie, or what defines indie games. What's your opinion? I'd love to sort of read some of your comments, and if you do, I'll read them out as well. But yeah, like for me, it's definitely about creative freedom, 100%. It's not having those, higher ups trying to sort of dictate, oh, hang on, you should go around this route, and it will make more money if you do that. And if you add that in the game, if you add a battle royale into your story, in your emotional story-driven game, you know what I mean? You can make some money on the long run because it'll keep people playing. But no, people want a awesome experience, which is like, a thrill for 2 hours, and then they're going to think about it for years and remember how good it was. So obviously games are longer than 2 hours as well, but like just sort of as a reference, some games are 2 hours, which are still awesome. It depends on the quality. But yeah, like independent. I mean, for example, wow, like basically to me, it's like I say, creative freedom is what it comes down to, and I also believe that you can be published by certain publishers. I actually start to get a little bit sort of tricky with my sort of like my how do I word it? My oh god, what's the word? My I've forgotten the word. Definition. Thank you very much. My definition for it. Oh my god, blanked out. My definition for what an indie would be, because like with some publishers, I feel like if it's a large, massive publisher, so say for example, if like say Ubisoft was to publish an indie game, I would start to question whether that is an indie. Although at the same time, some of them have different divisions.
I think EA did a lot of publishing indie games. I'd still call them an indie.
They have EA Originals, and they published Unravel and the one in the ocean game.
That's fantastic.
Sea of Solitude. Oh, nice. Yeah, Sea of Solitude. I've been meaning to play that one as well.
It's a great game. I recommend it.
That's quite an emotional sort of story as well.
Definitely. It's quite deep but dark at the same time.
Nice.
But it's really quite good.
I'll have to check
Up
that
to
out,
you.
buddy. That was been on my sort of like one sort of to check out in the back of my mind.
No.
You know what I mean? I actually quit my my EA access, though I left it the other day.
Yeah.
Well, about a few months ago. I was like, I'm sick of EA.
Well, I
now.
understand.
But at the same time, I can buy it. You know, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. It is a super hard one to sort of define exactly, but
Because
at the
you
end,
probably still get big developers that have complete creativeness themselves.
yeah.
So it's kind
So
of hard in that way.
yeah, so like so big developers that have all the freedom themselves. You mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that like you're going like down the CD Project Red route again. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, again, like. Okay, but the reason I might be able to say basing it on what I would put into my videos, then let's use that as the definition, because like I have to choose games to show each month in my top 10 indie games. I can't put like certain games in there, obviously, because they're not indie.
Yeah.
So what I would, I think twice about things like even Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That goes in still. But I wouldn't put CD Projekt Red. I wouldn't put
No.
Cyberpunk in the top 10 indie games of the month or whatever. No chance. But it's very tricky to say for definite. It's kind of like I think everyone will have a very slight different take on it. But at the end of the day, I just want to conclude that my take is that it's all about creative freedom and being able to carry through their own idea. And also, just to follow on from this topic, I actually did a little collaboration with BG4G hub.com on a article about this sort of similar topic to this, which is essentially it's very similar. I gave a little paragraph about what my thoughts were within it. If you haven't checked it out already, there's a if you go to the indie section on bg4ghub.com, you can check out a article about this subject essentially, and you'll see written from BG4G, and also you'll see a paragraph from me about it in there. It might be put more eloquently in that because I've rambled on for 3 hours. So. But anyway, just wanted to shout that out there because BG4G Hub are awesome, and it's well worth checking out that website anyway. But if you wanted to check out a bit more on this topic, it's over there. And yeah, cool. So let's move on because poor old DARQ has been on a long time, and people won't, they'll be like, at least I know how to solve all those puzzles now. Although I did edit the footage, so it was not all like on the screen, so it didn't ruin the game for people. So yeah, moving on from there, we're going to go into the releases of September. So there's a ton of indie releases coming out this month. Let me just pull up some of what we've got going down. Let's get rid of that. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's where it goes wrong. So yeah, let me just let's swing this over to you, Fastback. Have you got any games that you're looking forward to in September? There's a ton of indies coming out. I will reel off some for you in a minute if you are stuck on any of that. But just thought it'd be cool to shout out some indie games for people to check out because there's quite a few coming out this month. Is there anything you got your eye on, brother?
I think we saw Hot Shot Racing.
Yep, definitely did.
And
let's just grab.
I don't know. The Lake, is that coming in September?
Not this month. I don't think. No.
So.
Where are we? Here we go. That's not the right one. Yeah, so we got Hot Shot Racing this month, and just as we talk about it. Here's some Hot Shot Racing. Hot Shot Racing, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, is coming actually into Game Pass this month, and there's some gameplay on screen for you guys to check out. So it's coming, I think it's on the 10th actually, 10th of September for Hot Shot Racing, and I think it's only Xbox Game Pass, so not PC. But yeah, it's a cool like retro arcade racer. Kind of Daytona vibes and that sort of virtual racing kind of aesthetic, isn't it?
I love the way that one looks.
Looks fun, and it's got multiplayer as well, isn't it? It's got split screen and online, I believe.
Oh, cool. Love when they have online.
Yeah, so we should get online, guys, and play some of this.
Definitely.
Sounds good. Looks awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Interested in Iron Harvest, which I think is already out.
Yeah, tell me about Iron Harvest. You were talking about that a while ago, weren't you?
That's a new RTS that has been shown lately. I know Iron Lords had it. They were doing a gameplay with it.
That's right. Yeah, I remember
what's his
that.
name? He was a PR guy.
Yeah.
The publisher is Deep Silver, King Art Games.
That's it. Yeah, that's out on the 1st of September. That one. So it's already happened, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool though. Like if you like your like FC Violent, probably be all over that one, right, Jubei?
Right.
you-
No,
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a neat alternate universe as far as World War One,
Yep.
where it's more like a tied in with steampunk, and you
Okay,
have mechs
cool.
that you can
Does
have in the
sound
game.
Cool.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
so it does look cool. So I need to jump on that. Kind of, I do want to stream some of that at some point.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. No, that sounds good. That game, definite. I mean, do you play many sort of like RTS games these days, or?
not so much these days, but
Yeah.
you know, if I see one that piques my interest, give it a shot.
Yeah, nice. That's good. So it looks really good, actually. I did see that video with Iron Lords, and that looks pretty cool. I used to love like Command and Conquer and stuff, but I haven't been into RTS for quite a while, to be honest. But there's no reason for me not to get back into it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anything else?
And then another one, Crusader Kings. I remember seeing that on I don't know if it was on Future Games or on Guerrilla, but that's another kind of like a strategy type, you know, where you take control of different kingdoms
Yeah.
in the medieval ages. It's kind of a different take on how they do it,
Nice.
where you can, without even going to war, you can kind of like either marry into another kingdom, like you try to bring in another kingdom in through marriage. You can put in some spies, so on. So it's
Ah,
got
I
a
think I've
different
seen
take.
that. Yeah. Is that like
yeah.
a pixel art game almost?
No, it's not
Ah.
pixel art. It's
Oh.
yeah.
Is it top down kind of? I don't. Maybe it's a different game I'm thinking of. It might have been a while back actually. I didn't know if that got released, but yeah. Also this month as well. I mean, just to throw it out there while we're on a bit of racing action. For me, it's the month of like racing games. All of a sudden, which indie racing games especially. But when's DARQ coming out? That might even be quite soon as well.
I think that's next month.
Is that
isn't it?
October, isn't it? Or something, yeah. But anyway, there's 3 awesome racing games coming this month, including Hot Shot Racing, which we're looking at the moment. But there's also one of my most anticipated games, which is Art of Rally, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that. And it's coming out on my birthday as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Art of
Oh,
Rally,
what's that on?
That one,
I'll pull that up in
definitely
one
that
sec.
That looks sweet.
Art of
Yes.
Rally looks so damn good. I've been speaking to the developer about that, and I've requested a review code, so hopefully that will happen.
Is that a PC one?
It's a PC one, I'm afraid, my friend. Yeah, but hopefully it will go to console after. But it's PC. It's on Steam and GOG as well. So if that's how you say it, I say GOG. Do you say GOG, Coop, or do you say GOG?
I do.
You do, good. I'm glad. I'm only moved into PC gaming this year, you see. Good stuff. But yeah, so this game looks cool. I like the sort of the kind of retro feel it has, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. The drifting looks really like a fun sort of arcade style racing stuff. There's also another racer, as I said, there was 3 coming out this month, and that is called Pacer, which I've also played. And it's a kind of Wipeout stroke F-Zero kind of game, like the retro, and that's coming out on the 20th or something, I think. So there's 3 awesome racers coming out, and that game's a lot of fun actually. I played that one at EGX. Did you play that one at EGX by any chance, Xbox Jesus?
No, I didn't get a chance
Didn't
to,
get on
mate.
that one. No worries. Too busy on the Avengers, weren't you?
Yeah, I was playing
Triple A in it up. No, it's all
There's
good.
another racer
No,
called
it was
Inertial
only there a day.
Oh, you were there
Oh,
today,
sorry.
right? Oh, okay, bud, no worries. Next time we'll meet up. We're making that
Oh,
happen.
for sure,
when
mate.
when the life's back to normal.
yeah.
But yeah, so what was that? Fastback, another one.
Another racer called Inertial Drift.
Oh, Inertial Drift as well. God, I forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Yeah, that's cool. I played that one as well actually, and that's There's a prologue you can play on Steam. I did actually request a code for that, but I might have to withdraw that one because I've got too many requests now with all these games that have all of a sudden come up. But that one is like a drift-based game. Obviously, the name suggests it. But like you use both thumbsticks. You use the right thumbstick to angle the car, and the left thumbstick is like steering. But it's pretty cool. It's quite a nice aesthetic and arcade feel to it. Again, it's nice to see like the resurgence of races, especially like in indie races and stuff like that. It's good to see this coming back because there hasn't been that many. I know you guys are car fans, aren't you? Both Coop and Fastback. So, and yourself.
See my name in the game. I need a call to get some.
I did. Oh yeah, did you see that? By the way, yeah, I was going to say that. I saw that earlier when I was watching it. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
He's a Mustang fan. I don't know if you can call that a car fan. Stretch a little bit.
Love it.
Easy now, easy.
But yeah, let's move on to the other little beauty. So it's Art of Rally I got up now for you guys. This one is probably my most anticipated racing game, I would say, although the others look cool as well. But
Does look cool.
yeah, it feels great to play as well. The physics feel great on it. It's made by one guy for like 90% of the development time, and then the last 10% he got in like another 5 people, I think, to finish it off. So yeah, and he's a super cool dude as well, so he's a really nice guy. And it's coming out on the 23rd of September, which is my birthday, like I say. But yeah, but it's cool. It's got like a retro. Yeah, hint. Definitely.
It's my
birthday. But yeah, like it's got the like old rally cars. The I think it's like 70s and 90s or something like that. I'm not sure if it does have the new ones as well. I think it focuses. But yeah, you said about that last time, didn't we? I think when we were talking.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, it just looks great, and like, it's a cool art style to it. But you know, most of all, it feels awesome to play. It's not the most easy game. I would say that Hot Shot Racing will probably be an easier game. That's just my prediction, having not played Hot Shot Racing. But yeah, you guys going to be picking up any of these races or? Anyone?
Yep, both of
I'll
those.
definitely be playing.
Yeah.
On Game Pass, the Hot Shot Racing.
Yeah, I love the way they look.
Hot Shot.
Definitely.
Let's move on to quickly that one.
And didn't this one get announced? Oh, it didn't get announced for Game Pass, but it did get a date, right?
For
Rally.
For Art of Rally, it's only coming to Steam and GOG at the moment.
PC.
Yeah. So he said there's no plans at the moment, but you know, I think he's just trying to be careful what he says, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he probably, there's my birthday, look. 23rd of September.
Put on your wish list.
Yeah, it's already done. But yeah, it's an awesome looking game. I highly recommend checking it out. Slap it on your wish list, guys. Check it out. And let me see. Go back to that quickly. I might I'll just pull up Pacer quickly, actually. But yeah, I mean, I do like my racing games. I know Dazzy in the chat, he likes his racing games as well. And he's not letting anything stop him when it comes to playing them, even though he's using one hand, which is pretty damn amazing.
I'll beat every Forza game.
Sweet. Let's put this on here.
Top of the leaderboard.
Sweet, nice. Yeah, so this is, if I've got the right trailer. Pacer, yeah. Yeah, this is Pacer, so it's like you know, futuristic Wipeout. That's the game, isn't it? Yeah, Wipeout, yeah, cool. It's been a while, but yeah, do you dig these kind of futuristic style races, guys, or?
I do if they handle all right.
Yeah.
I've played a few and sometimes they don't.
I know what you mean. There's like a few where the handling is sort of quite unusual, sort of, to say the least, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's go through. Let's go. Did you have any more that you wanted to add, Fastback, that you're looking forward to, or Was
That's good for September. I don't
That's
even know if I
good.
can handle that.
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Let's move on to Jubei. Have you got any you looking forward to this month, my friend, or anything you've been playing already?
As far as what I'm looking forward to, I got a couple.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to Star Renegades quite a bit.
Oh yes, nice
Um,
choice.
I love my RPGs, so
Nice.
Yeah.
and how they have just the art style of that game just has me really wanting to mess with it and see how deep the strategy stuff goes.
Yeah, good stuff. It's nice. It's pixel art, sort of turn-based, isn't it?
is.
Yeah, it looks really
Yeah.
nice. I reckon it could be one of the big releases of the year, I would say.
Yeah,
But yeah, that looks
it
cool.
being a roguelite also kind of
Yeah, that's true.
kind of piques my interest.
Do you like roguelite?
I'm
Okay, cool.
I do.
That's cool.
I'm trying to see how that system's gonna work, and see if it's
Yeah.
like permadeath, i.e., like something like Fire Emblem or something, just to see what happens. with the
Yeah, see how
characters, so-
severe it is. If you know what I mean,
Yeah.
how harsh it is. Like sometimes it can be harsh, I find, but like it's I do like my roguelikes as well. But it puts some people off. I do know that. But like have you played Children of Mortar at all?
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah.
I have,
Like that's quite forgiving in a sense, but it's kind of roguelite, isn't it? So it's I really like that game though. But it's done in a nice way where you still feel like you're moving on the story even though you're dying and stuff. Like it's
I'd love
Exactly.
online with it though. It'd be fantastic.
on with which one? Sorry, with Children of Mortar.
Yeah, it'd be like proper epic.
I've never
with
tried
online.
the co-op mode in that
I've-
actually.
I've done it once co-op, but it's only split screen. Well, not split screen, but couch co-op.
Yeah, it's a great game though. I really do dig
Yeah,
it.
it's good fun.
Have you tried out the DLC on it at all?
No, I haven't.
There's-
No.
I didn't know
Not
there
yet.
was some actually.
Yeah, I think there was one a couple of months back or something that came out. But yeah, Star Renegades looks pretty damn cool. Although it's maybe a bit more of a, would you say it's more Japanesey kind of vibe? Like yeah, that's the only
And I think the giant mechs do that.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that in a negative way towards the game. I'm just saying in the way that people might not get. It might not get a worldwide the love it deserves. If you see what I mean, it might. I hope it does. I hope it does because it
That
looks.
look cool though.
Have you checked out Star Renegades? Nice. Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
in Game Pass, so
Cool.
definitely worth checking it out. I think it's coming like on the 8th. Is it? What date is it today? 5th.
7th.
Is
I
it?
see 7th on
Oh,
Steam.
seven.
Yeah, it's
Seventh.
a couple of. I think it's the 8th on Game Pass. I think it might launch on Steam a little bit earlier.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um,
I've just realised something as well, Craig, my friend. It's only coming to the PC Game Pass. Sorry,
it?
I'm so sorry, buddy.
Damn you.
It's not going your way today. But it's all good. There's plenty to play. But yeah,
Exactly.
is there any others you?
Yeah. Going Under. Don't know if you've
Going
heard
Under.
about that.
Don't know if I know that one. It rings a bell though.
It's a satirical like roguelike game.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
You crawl through dungeons, and each dungeon is based off of like a failed business. So
Oh yes,
it's
I
like
have. I have seen it.
and
I've seen it. Yeah.
Unpaid intern.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know the one
Yep.
you mean. It's quite colourful, isn't it?
yes.
Yes, I know the one you mean. I knew I'd heard of it. But yeah, that looks
That does
actually
look cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I should be putting these up really.
It just looks so colorful and fun. It's just something to
Yeah.
kind of go in between some other releases that I'm trying to play. So I like finding like those palate cleanser kind of games that you can just kind of sit down and have fun with.
Totally agree with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is so true because you need sort of in between games, don't you, where it's kind of more relaxing or
Yeah.
whatever. This is the trailer for it on now. Yeah, it's,
'Cause, I mean, I'm playing Wasteland 3 right now, and that game stresses me the hell out. So
yeah, I noticed you were
I've
playing
been,
that.
I've been started that up too.
Oh, cool. How is it, you guys?
it's stressful.
Stressful. That's all.
But I also feel like I need to go back and change my characters, like change.
Yeah, if you mess up your build, you have to like
Yeah.
restart the game. Like,
Yeah.
Right. So
it punishes you for not building smart in the beginning.
See what you mean, right? Yeah, well, no, that's good stuff. Yeah, that's coming out on 24th. That's FC Violent's birthday, isn't it? I think. I happen to know that now.
I think I'd have to ask him.
You're trying to play dumb now, and so you'd have to get him anything. I love it. Yeah, no, so that's great to me. It's like I say, it's a really packed month this month for definite. Coop, bro, what are you, any games you got your eye on, your keen eye or indie eye? Anything you're going to be checking out?
Well, again, you know, and it's I guess it was released in September, but
Yeah,
the one you already mentioned earlier, Last Campfire, I already picked that up.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm on like the second area
oh cool, nice.
of that game, so I played. I haven't gotten a whole lot of time with it, and it's pretty simple game. You know,
Yeah.
it's you know, I can see, you know, they're calling it kind of a light game because it's weird. It's got like a fixed camera, which kind of threw me off.
Okay, cool. So it moves
Yeah,
around
no right
to
stick controls. It's real simple.
Okay,
You know,
nice.
it's just a simple little cute puzzler game, but
Yeah.
it has a nice, you know, narrative to it. And so yeah, I jumped on that one a little bit. Another one I picked up, but excuse me, I haven't actually jumped in yet, was Paradise Killer. I think I got that from one of your streams or something.
I'm not sure actually. That's killer.
Paradise Killer.
I'm blanking.
It's like a detective adventure game, sort of. And again, it's got sort of a colorful art style.
I'm not
It's
sure if
been
that
on my
was
radar
me.
for a while. I just picked it up.
Not sure if that one was me. Yeah, but that
No?
sounds cool. So detective. Detective. What was the other part you said? Sorry.
Yeah, it's, you know, just an open world detective.
Nice.
You have you're basically given this case that you have to solve, you know, sort of thing. It's just
Cool.
yeah, so and it's got a neat art style, and it sounds like it's got multiple ending kind of thing, you know. You
Okay,
can,
nice. Branching
depending on how
narrative.
the trial turns out at the end, then, you know, you get different endings or something. I don't know how, you know, in depth that is, but
Yeah.
you know, it's you know, like Jube, it's a palate cleanser, you know. I just
Yeah.
finished Last of Us 2, so I've
Oh.
been needing something like that. So
Yeah,
this,
definitely.
you know, so I just picked that one up. Let's see. Another one that I just grabbed was Falcon Age, which
Cool.
you know, I guess it's still an indie game, but it's on VR. It came out
Okay.
on PSVR about a year ago. They had like a timed exclusive kind of deal, and it just hit a couple days ago on Oculus. So I grabbed that for my Quest and checking that one out soon.
Nice. Do you play a lot of VR stuff, or
Not a lot.
yeah, just the occasional?
You know, I kind of go back and forth with it. It becomes more of a social thing. Like, you know, if people come over, you know, of course everybody wants to check it out. Everybody loves.
Yeah.
So we
the
do like
novelty,
Beat
yeah.
Saber. If I have company over, you know, we'll always out because you can watch it you can watch their gameplay
That's
on the
cool.
big screen
Yeah.
and kind of take turns and, you know, get through different. You know, it's sort of fun that way.
Yeah.
And, yeah, when, you know, little games, you know, that jump into here and there, but I don't play a whole lot with it, especially
Yeah.
lately. I haven't been able to play a whole lot of anything
Yeah, I
lately,
know what you
but,
mean. Yeah. Yeah.
So what else?
Hopefully it'll calm down for you soon, that sort of thing. But yeah,
BPM.
just quickly, just before we carry on talking, this is the last campfire you're looking at now, guys, in case you were wondering. But yeah, carry on, my friend.
Okay, another one that's been, and I don't know if maybe
BPM.
I'm giving wrong.
Is that out this
BPM
month?
comes out. I
Is
think
that
this month.
shooter?
That's, yeah, that's
That
that
looks
rhythm.
mad.
It's like Doom to a beat.
I didn't even. Yeah, I
It
saw
just
that.
looks like madness, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm a little tentative on it because it could be kind of a mess, but
Yeah, I know what you
at
mean.
the same time, you know, the trailers make it look really fun and kind of chaotic, and
Yeah.
it would just be a fun game to kind of jump into and just do a quick level kind of thing, you know. I don't think it's like some in-depth story. I think it's just like a fun boss
Definite.
battles.
It's
kinda.
like that. Did you see that game Ultra Kill? Don't know if you saw that one.
Uh-uh.
That's kind of like that. It was in the demo, the Steam demo event a little while back, and I checked it out, and it's mad. It's like it's just bonkers. There's also that Metal Hellsinger, isn't there? Which has got that it's got like
Yeah,
that
that's what I
Doom.
was thinking.
Yes, that BPM's quite similar, sort of in idea to the way it's on the beat and stuff.
Yeah, it looks kind of fun.
Yeah, that was
I'll
in
definitely be checking that out.
that was in one of the showcases. I think it was in the Future Games show. The BPM was.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I'm just going to pull that up quickly. It's going to give me some heart rate now or something.
And then the last two would probably be I Am Dead. That's another sort of along the lines of like the just a simple little
that looks
again,
nice, that game.
palate cleanser.
That's kind of like
Shout out to EGB again.
yeah, like that. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it actually. This is BPM.
And then finally, I think this is another one that I got from one of your videos was and this one looks amazing, is that Projection First Light, which I think comes out this month.
That does come out this month, yes. It's already out on Apple Arcade, but it's now coming out on other consoles. Yeah,
that looks. I'm excited. That looks awesome.
Yeah, man, it does look really cool. I like the concept in that game. It's little mechanics that can but the art style is really nice as well. The way it's kind of like that shadow puppet theater. And you turn on the side, you can sort of it's not like it's like thin, isn't it, like a piece of paper kind of thing, which is cool. But yeah, this is BPM. It looks mad and kind of glorious in a way. But I quite like that dash thing that I just saw there. Sort of side dash is pretty cool.
As they're playing that game, you need to go play I Am Dead after that. Kind of chill out.
Yeah, exactly.
You do. I Am Dead though. That game looks really interesting. I've seen 2 trailers. The first trailer I wasn't sold on it, and that was quite a long time ago. And then the recent trailer, which was in there's too many events at the moment. I can't remember which one's which, but it was in one of the events recently, and it looked really cool. And there's some cool mechanics going on where you look inside things, don't you? Like you have to sort of look inside. It's hard to explain. I'll have to pull the trailer up again. You kind of look inside stuff to sort of go deeper, and it's got like detail, but it's just kind of like a relaxing thing.
Annapurna.
Is it annapurna? Yeah. That proves that solid seal of approval, isn't it?
Yeah, I know exactly.
But like they do a lot of sort of story games where it's kind of like almost film-like, if you know what I mean. They are the film studio as well, so they like to sort of make it sort of narrative-based stuff and that. So yeah, it fits into there. Like 12 minutes does as well. Now that could be a segue, guys, but. To the 12 minutes topic. We've been going for quite a long time, so I don't know if we're going to get much more time. What's we got here? That's the only one left. We haven't done everyone's games yet. So is there any others you wanted to shout out, Cooper, that you were looking forward to, bro?
No, that was all I had on my list.
Yep, nice. That's good. I tell you what, everyone's coming out with different games, and that is awesome because there's going to be like a ton. And when I do my top 10 this month, it's going to be impossible, I think, because there's too many. Xbox Jesus, aka Craig, what have you got? Any you're looking forward to, my friend?
Well, the problem with me at the moment, I'm trying to save funds.
That's fair enough, buddy.
Series X.
Yeah,
so I'll be getting on that Game Pass.
Yeah, well, there's a few of them which are coming to Game Pass, so that's a good thing.
So do you know how much Series X is going to be? How much you saving?
Yeah.
Hopefully enough, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's going to be around a certain number, isn't it?
Lately, so yeah, I've. The good thing is I've got a few games pre-ordered. They're not quite indie games, but
that's fine, buddy. Yeah, you were not fired. Don't worry.
But it's like when my hands were really bad. Like I went on the Alto collection because all you got to do is press one button, and it's quite like chilled, just like snowboarding and.
Definite. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's good to have a mixture, diverse sort of, set of games. If you're looking at the screen now, this is what I was trying to explain very badly a minute ago. You sort of look inside stuff. I didn't make any sense a minute ago, but this is I Am Dead, and you got the camera there. You sort of inspect it, and then you look and you see the lenses there. That's actually how a camera works. That's very good. So, and you got the sensor with the lens. Anyway, I'm a camera geek, so it's fine.
Right, me too.
But yeah, no, it does look interesting. It's kind of like it's something different, and again, it's kind of relaxing. And A palate cleanser is the saying of the day, thanks to Jubei. It's a perfect way of saying it, bro. It's a great.
Happy to contribute.
Yeah.
You need to
Hashtag.
kill our games.
But yeah, no, definitely. It's I enjoy those kind of games. Like again, the Lost Campfire, really relaxing. No, like, it's just puzzles, light puzzles, and just a nice narrative and stuff, nice art style, and yeah, really, I'm gonna have to check out the Lost Campfire. Probably I'm Dead at some point as well. Maybe the Lost Campfire is more on my radar though. But what was I going to say? Yeah, the Last Campfire is literally really, really cheap, by the way. I think it's like $11.99 in the UK, so it's like a bargain if you wanted a nice little cheeky adventure for nothing.
Yeah, I only paid $5.
Oh, really? Was that for?
Really?
Well, I had a coupon, a $10 off coupon on
Wow,
Epic
sweet.
Store. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
it
one
was
of
like
those.
$5.
Yeah, I got. I've already got the game, but I decided to buy it because I bought it again, which is Blood Roots. Have you any of you guys played Blood Roots? Probably not.
No.
It's not on Xbox, so it's the only console it's not on, and I'm gonna stream it at some point. It's on PC, Xbox, not Xbox, sorry, PC, PS4. I just lied then completely, didn't I? It's on everything
He's
apart
messing
from.
with me, man.
I am. I'm messing with your heart. Yes, I bought it on the Switch the first time, and then I didn't play it. It's in the backlog on the Switch, and then now on the PC more. I decided to use my £10 voucher that Epic give you, which is pretty epic. Oh, no pun intended. But yeah, no, I used that and I got it for like $5.99 as well. Actually, the same. And I tell
it
you
felt
what,
weird to actually buy something on the Epic Store.
yeah,
It's always just
Yeah.
free games.
You only want them free.
yeah, it's funny though. Actually, they do give a lot of good games away. Though, I tell you that.
They do.
It's what's that tactical turn-based game they've got on the moment? I forget what it's called. It's one of the most popular ones. I forget. They've got a tactical turn-based game available at the moment if you wanted it. It's one of those. Oh, have a look. They've got that on there. Right, we're going to move on because otherwise we'll run out of time. Are you guys okay for a little bit longer? Just maybe have a little chat.
I may have to
Yeah,
bow
cool,
out
man.
here. I gotta.
Yep. Yeah, you have to shoot now or.
Buddy's lighting up my text messages right now.
Oh,
I'm supposed
is
to meet
it?
him about 2:00. So.
Oh right,
I
sorry,
may
right.
have to.
Yep. Not good for one more then.
No. Well,
That's
you guys can. I may just
That's
have
cool.
to bow out.
Okay, mate. Should we do one more, or should we say that? What about you, other guys? Are you good, or should we wind it up here?
No, I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm good for a little bit more.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. We'll carry on then, and if you need to go, Coop, that's cool. No worries, my friend.
All right. Yeah.
Is that
I'm
okay?
gonna
Yeah.
jump out.
Yep, no problem,
Sorry,
buddy.
I
Sorry,
just
mate.
gotta-
Sorry, I was slow as ever.
No worries. Hey, it's been a great show, man.
Oh,
It's good chatting with Jubei,
yeah.
Xbox Jesus. You guys have been
Definitely,
awesome.
man.
And
That was good, man.
Yeah,
yeah,
Take care,
cheers,
dude.
everybody.
Yeah,
Alright,
cheers,
cool, buddy.
Coop.
I'll,
Always a pleasure, my
I'll
friend.
chat with you guys soon.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
Good-
Have a good one.
Take care, my buddy. Thanks for
Later.
being on. Take it easy.
Absolutely.
Cool,
appreciate
guys. Yeah, so just one last topic for us for then, guys, which is 12 minutes. And, the game which you've probably seen, a lot of people, it's getting some good attention, which is good to see. And it also recently got it got some new news about the voice cast, which was pretty damn epic. It's been announced that Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe, and James McAvoy will be doing the voice acting on the game 12 minutes. And I am going to try and pull it up really quickly. It's 1 second, guys. I need to get better at this. Yes. Let's see. I should have saved this from earlier. Okay. Oh dear.
When
Okay.
was 12 minutes shown?
Let's have a whip
Couple years
round.
ago?
I'll come. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a quick rundown of what 12 minutes is about. I'll put this trailer on. So if you haven't seen 12 minutes already, it's an interactive thriller, and it was announced to most people at E3 2019. Oh, come on, double click. So it was announced at E3 2019 on to the larger audience, but it's actually been in production for 6 years now.
Wow.
So if you pay attention to people like Kind of Funny Games, you might have seen a Let's Play with them back in like 2016 or something like that on the game, when it was much more basic at that time. And it's since been moved on quite a bit, and essentially the developer Luis Antonio, he's a solo developer, and it's been published by Annapurna again, by the way. So another sort of interactive story thing going on with them. They like that sort of stuff. But yeah, like I say, he's been working on it on his own for like 90% of the journey, and now he's grabbed a couple other developers to sort of finish off at the end. I think it's grown to a team of 8 now. But yeah, like I say, it was most people got it on their radar at E3, Xbox E3 conference 2019, I think it was. And yeah, like I say, it's come back into the fold recently with the voice actor announcement, which is pretty damn epic. Again, that might be helped by the fact he's with Annapurna and all the buzz that's coming up around it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's supposed to be coming out in 2020. It's been in production a long time, so you never know, it might be pushed a little longer. But I've watched a few interviews with him, and he's sort of keen to, you know, get everything just right, and he's taking his time over it. I feel like it could be the year for it, though. It's like I say, it's 2020 on the release at the moment, so hopefully it's going to be like maybe that launch window for Series X and stuff like that. But yeah, I wondered what your takes on a bit of 12 minutes are in general, because you've probably seen this game. Is it up your street? Do you like sort of story focused sort of thrillers? Where it's also, I didn't mention, sorry, one of the main hooks about the game is it's a 12-minute time loop, and the way it plays out is you will obviously play out a 12-minute time loop in real time, and you'll gather information, come back, and then you'll use that information in new ways to move the story forward, and things like that. And I was just going to read something. Sorry, I was going to ask you to speak then, but I could do one more thing and read out a bit more, which is quite interesting about the game, because a lot of people know it as just this top-down game at the moment, narrative-driven and everything like that. But there's actually a bit more insight on the Wikipedia of all places, which I'm going to read out verbatim right now, if you don't mind. And it basically says the player controls the husband during these events, where he is free to do various actions. Without taking certain actions over the course of the 12 minutes, the man learns his wife is pregnant, but a police officer arrives at the apartment, accuses the wife of murdering his father several years ago, and in trying to arrest her, knocks out the husband and attacks and kills the wife and her unborn child. The game then restarts at the original point, at which point the player can now try to take actions to learn the wife is a suspect, how to prevent her arrest, or other actions to find best results over the next 12 minutes. Otherwise, they restart the 12 minutes over. So it gives a little bit of extra insight as to, you know, what we might already know. So yeah, I'm interested to know. Fastback, are you interested in this game and what that's just given you?
Very interested.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about this, is the mystery. And now that we know that we had the 2 actors that are involved, or what, 3?
Three, yeah. One's narrator, one plays the husband, one plays the wife. So Daisy Ridley is obviously the wife, and James McAvoy is the guy, yeah, and Willem Dafoe's the
who was the father, or the cop?
I think Willem Dafoe plays the narrator.
Dafoe.
I think he plays the narrator of the game. Yeah, I think there's a narrator.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
No, this is, after hearing about all that, I just got more interested in hearing your description even more. Yeah.
Nice.
That voice
radar.
cast is is star-studded.
It's pretty huge, isn't it? Yeah. But it's great because I think the game, the emphasis is on story, and you know the delivery of you know from a good voice actor can do wonders in a game, in my opinion. It's so I think that's going to really help the game a lot.
I wouldn't mind playing this with my wife too.
Nice.
where I could play this with her and we can just kind of go through this together.
Yeah, figure
be
out the
cool.
mystery together, kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
definitely. Yeah, no, it does look really cool. It's a lot of people really super excited for the game. It's clever because it's I think there's no HUD in the game either, and it's sort of like all the environmental elements kind of give you clues, like outside and stuff. Like sometimes I think the developer talked about there's a bit where there's an ambulance goes past and stuff like that, and it's kind of a cue to sort of know what to do and little things like that. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I think it's different, and I love that about it. The guy, I think the developer, he's very like cinematic focused, if you know what I mean. The game's very cinematic and I think he feels like, it's kind of like, with you remember like A Way Out. It's a different type of game, but like the developer of A Way Out, the game, the co-op game,
Great game.
yeah, great game. I love that game. He came from filmmaking and he made a game, and you definitely felt that in the game with some of the sort of ways he sort of did things. So I think it's kind of a similar thing with this. Definitely has that cinematic feel. But yeah,
Well, I also like that one film studio that did Juggler. Was it Juggler?
Juggler's Tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That looks a really cool game.
They were not a game studio.
That's right. Yeah, they're just going through. They've been learning the ropes, aren't they? They're at a university, I think, and they're taking it on, which is pretty damn awesome for sure. Yeah. So this game, I think, it's coming to Xbox and PC at the moment, and I think it's definitely the type of game that I think there's going to be a Game Pass one. I think it's going to drop into Game Pass.
Yeah, I think so.
It feels like that sort of thing, doesn't it? I think.
Definitely.
But it might not, of course, and if not, I think it won't be a high priced game. It's solo developer now with a few more, like I say 8, I think it is, or 6.
But then again, wouldn't the voice actors boost up the price?
I don't think it will. I think. Oh,
Yeah,
you think
maybe
it will?
do it.
You think it will? I was going to say.
It usually does cost more.
Well,
That could be the case, but it depends on if this guy knows. Maybe he knows some of these actors.
yeah.
Maybe like kind of like these
How
Sundance
connected
films.
he is. Yeah.
I think it'll be like
they're not really doing it for the
$15.99.
money.
Yeah, it's more like a favor. Hey,
Creative art.
Yeah.
On
I
the
wanna
side.
be
Yeah, I
involved
see what
with
you
your
mean.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a 6 to 8 hour experience, so it's not the longest game ever. So I think it's definitely going to be in that sort of 15, 18 sort of mark, sort of thing.
It's a nice creative way of
Yeah,
creating a game.
the time loop's
Very,
really interesting.
Different.
Definitely.
And even just seeing cars go by, the lights is pretty cool on the window.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, like nice little bits like that. I think it's
It seems like they've really put a lot of detail in the lighting and just
yeah,
how everything gets affected by the movement. It's really well done.
most definite.
As we were talking about detail earlier, they've really
Yeah.
Yeah,
put in that detail.
for definite.
Fair play to them, like just how it's flashing on the walls and stuff. It's very well done.
It certainly
And
is.
it definitely a different perspective on doing it. Yeah, we played top-down games before, but the top-down 3D, and the detailed,
Definitely.
yeah, I can't think of another game that looked like this from a
No.
top-down.
Yeah, it's definitely unique, and in concept and the visual style and stuff. And I really like Daisy Ridley's. She's got a really cool voice. I think like a cool like voice for this kind of thing. I think it'll be really good. Obviously, the other guys are great as well, but yeah, I think it'll just give it that extra bit of level, because I think narrative driven is important to have good voice acting. So yeah, I haven't really. We've sort of chimed in ourselves, but any of you guys got any more takes on 12 minutes? What your thoughts on it? Jubei, did you have anything on it or?
Yeah. I actually hope it has like multiple endings. Like I know you're stuck in a
Oh,
loop there,
yeah.
but I wonder if there's enough choice in that game to
That
actually
would
get
be
multiple
cool.
endings and break the loop.
That is a genius idea, bro. Coming up with some good ideas today. Yeah, that's a good shout. I really think that would be an awesome
It would kind of
idea.
work with that narrative, wouldn't it? Because otherwise, if it's the same ending, it doesn't gonna have that replay value.
Yeah, it will
But
give it the
if-
replayability when it's quite a
Right,
short
like,
experience.
if there's ways you can get like a good ending, you know, or
Yeah.
an okay ending and a bad ending.
But I suppose it's kind of hard because isn't it the whole point that it's bad to begin with, and you're kind of trying to change what's kind
Yeah.
of happened. That's what I get from it anyway.
Yeah, it's tricky to sort of gauge whether it would be whether that would be the case or not. But
Or really, it's maybe more you're trying to solve the puzzle that makes it a better ending.
yeah, I'd like to think there would be
Right.
little ways of doing the multiple, even if you still, you know, it might
Mm,
become to a more negative outcome, like
yeah,
you know.
it would be great.
Like you dodge the cops, you know, you guys run out, she gets hit by a car or something.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like little variables and details like that. I
Definite.
think,
I think that
I have
think
no
they
idea what
might.
they're doing with it, but
Yeah, no, I don't
that
mean.
could be a possibility.
I think they might do it, to be honest. It seems like that kind of game that they do. Like games like that. What's that FMV game? That's got like 5 different endings. It's in Game Pass. There's an FMV game that's I can't remember the name of it. Late Shift.
Late shift.
Yeah, like that's got 5 different endings, and I think, you know, it's obviously a different looking game, it's slightly different, but it's still like they're kind of similar almost because it's a narrative driven thing. And they've got 5 different endings, so it's a achievement hunter's nightmare because they have to play the game 5 times to get all the achievements.
Some of them aren't that bad, and there's always ways.
Always I say.
Trust me, when you're a tuner, you know.
You're the guy. Yeah, you only have to look at your achievement score to know that you know what you're doing on achievements. I'll just pull that up quickly. Oh god. Why have I got that up there? Sorry guys. Yeah, I mean, how about yourself, Craig? You got any more takes on, you know, 12 minutes? Do you remember it being revealed at E3?
Yeah, I remember it originally. Like, I was interested in it, but it didn't really give much away. And I think they've definitely upgraded it visually a bit as well since then, from what I remember.
Yeah, yeah, no, definite.
And that's really nice because I think it's also going to be one of them things where it is kind of simple, but effective, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier as well, isn't it? Not to just like do these massive games, but to do these, you know, more potent and, you know, rich experiences, which this seems to be like kind of a good example of that. This is a different video I'm showing now. This is some actual gameplay, essentially. Obviously, that was a bit of gameplay before with in the trailer, but this is kind of like a bit more of a...
Doesn't look like it went well.
Yeah, it doesn't. So yeah, it's interesting though, isn't it? Like the story, like what that is quite a plot, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the police officer arrives in the apartment, accuses the wife of murdering his father several years ago, and you already, I don't know, it's just weird how it's. I would like to know where that plot's going to go. It's
It's going to be interesting.
Definitely.
People are going to enjoy it, like.
Yeah, I mean, I like a good thriller and that, so it's it's up my street in that regard for sure. And I can, like Fastback said, I can see myself playing that with my wife as well. We both like a bit of that sort of thing. But yeah, apparently it's 2020, and you know,
nice.
It would be good if it comes out. Not too much long of go for 2020, and maybe we'll find out about some consoles as well at some point.
Maybe we'll finally find out a price.
Yeah, you never know. Anyways, yeah, we've gone on for quite a while. Apologies, guys, it's been a bit longer than probably should have been going. You just keep trying to target the 2 hours, but going over. But it's all good. It's been, you know, an absolute blast, and we talked about some good stuff. Today I really enjoyed hearing all your takes about, you know, especially, you know, the different takes on you know, what an indie game is to you, like, but just all of it was fantastic. And you know, having everyone here as well. And Coop's popped off now because he's working and that, but I'll just turn that back to that. but yeah, it's genuine. It's a genuine honor to be able to hang with all of you guys. You're all awesome, and it means the world that you've come on to talk indie games, and you know, and all that goodness. And also the chat, you guys are absolutely amazing. Honestly, guys, it blows my mind that you've been hanging with us, listening to us talk, and for all this time, and you know, it makes it come alive. Like I say before, you know, at the end of the day, we're gamers chatting games, but you know, with it being a show, it feels good to be able to spread the indie games love, and also, you know, with you guys in the chat, the back and forth and stuff. Like I say, you make it come alive, and it means the world to be able to do this show. So hopefully, we'll continue to grow the Indie Games podcast and spread that love for indie games throughout the community. But yeah, thanks so much everyone in the chat who's come out to watch. You all rock. I'm just going to shout out a few of you quickly now. Excuse me. Oh, Monkey Punch has just popped in, I believe. What's up, Monkey Bro? Good to see you. UK Dazarus, I will never forget you again, my friend.
Oh, he was here?
Oh yeah. His doppelganger.
Sure.
And Dragon Wolf, awesome to see you as always, buddy. I really appreciate all your support, and it's, you know, you're always interested in chatting games with you, so thank you, my friend, for coming out. Judzilla, same for you, bro. Always a pleasure, buddy. Stubbs Gaming, always an honor and pleasure, sir. And I, you know, always love watching Stubbs cast. He does some great interviews on there. He needs to get, you know, he's had Fastback on there recently, he's had myself on, but a bit of Jubei Sensei and Xbox Jesus, I think.
I think tomorrow he's got who do he has not Assassin, not
he's got Clowns tomorrow, I think.
Clown, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Clowns tomorrow.
Yeah, but like,
got to give you a shout out.
Definitely. I think his list is forever growing, he's told me before. It's like a massive list. But there's a lot of great people in this community, though, and it's good that he sort of gets to chat to them and get the behind the scenes kind of take on it. So check out his channel. Just going to keep moving that back because we don't really want that on there. Yeah, so sorry, carrying on. Judzilla, awesome to see you, bro. Christopher Hart, thanks for coming out, buddy.
NLG.
Mike from NLG, thanks for coming out, buddy. Really appreciate it. Always a pleasure. C-Script,
daughter.
Your oldest daughter, absolutely pleasure
I told
to have
her,
her
hey, you need to share this out. Make sure all your friends from school sub.
Well, that's beautiful, man. Love it.
Support.
Yeah, no, it's good to see her in. And thanks for popping out C-Script as well. Great to see you, buddy. Green Pass Gaming, thanks for popping in. Loving your podcast, new channel on YouTube. Check him out. VJ, always a pleasure, bud. Some great chats with you, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so. And yeah, everyone else has come in. You all rock. Thank you so much again for coming by. So let's get out. Let's get on with these outros, and we can get out of here. So thank you again, Fastback, for popping in and being a regular on the show. It means the world to have you at my side. As I say always, you're thank you. A great friend, bro. And
that's great.
Love your indie passion. So yeah, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, thank you. It was good being here, and also meeting Jubei Sensei and being on with Xbox Jesus. Yeah, it was fun.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Definitely. Yeah. Where can they find you, brother?
Well, of course, you can find me here, I guess once a month or whenever we do some...
yeah. I think... So, yeah, we're doing once a month on the Indie Games podcast, aren't we? And
yeah.
But yeah, we might do some extra stuff in between if it's ever... That's kind of us. But yeah, I think we may decide to do the same... Saturday each month. That might make it easier. I think first Saturday of the month or something, that might make it easier to sort of know what's going on. So potentially it might be the first Saturday of the month, guys, but we will confirm that. It's roughly around that time anyway.
And then also you can find me every Thursday on the Next Level Gaming YouTube channel,
for sure,
at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then of course on Xbox, PlayStation, Fastback 6768, and same thing on Twitter, and should be same on Steam also, and Epic. So
nice.
Yeah, appreciate everybody that showed up, and hopefully do a little bit of gaming tonight.
Hell yeah, good stuff, buddy. Yeah, no, definitely check out NLG everyone. If you haven't already, they are super awesome and, you know, proper down to earth, positive gamers, and they have an excellent podcast, and they're top guys, and it's a pleasure to be, you know, in the Gamers United Guild with them as well, which shout out to that. So yeah,
That's what you want me to do, Daz. Okay.
what he said now. You
Just for
can't
you.
very good. Nice. Cheers, Stubbs. Thanks very much for those kind words. And yeah, Jubei Sensei, bro. It's been a pleasure. It's been our first time actually talking for, you know, actual in real life talking rather than in a text chat. So it's been a pleasure, bro.
Welcome to the real world.
You did bring some fire today with some great points, buddy. You know, really impressive stuff. I knew you'd be great, and you definitely were. So thanks for coming on. And where can they find you, my friend?
Oh yeah, appreciate you having me on. You can find me at Jubei Sensei on Twitter, Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms. I don't really do multiplayer on the Switch, so I'm not going to give out my Switch multiplayer.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me on PSN and an Xbox Live definitely. And you can find me usually Mondays on FC Violence channel doing the VGP podcast there. We're not doing it this Monday, but next week we'll be back once everybody's got their stuff taken care of. So
awesome. Well, that's good stuff, bro. That is thanks again for coming on. And definitely, guys, check out VGP on the Mondays. Not this Monday, as Jubei says, but it's you know, VGP is one of my favorites actually, and like NLG they're both two of my favorites. And sometimes, you know, people need to come over to a bit of both of those actually. You know, step outside the usuals. Check out some guys like both of you guys have great podcasts at your Europe on the panel one, and I highly recommend checking them out there. But you know, sometimes the big podcasts, yeah, they're fair enough, but check out some different guys sometimes. But yeah, VGP is a great podcast, and it'd be good to see some more, you know, faces going over there. Although your numbers are growing all the time actually. Both NLG and VGP have been getting some nice numbers lately, which is great to see. Well deserved. But yeah, thanks again for coming on, bro. It's been a pleasure. And
absolutely.
Good stuff, bud. So Xbox Jesus, not our first time talking. It won't be the last, I doubt, unless you don't want to talk anymore. But no, thank you.
I'll put up with you.
You'll put up with me. I'm lucky then. Got away with it. No, honestly, bro, it's always a pleasure. And, you know, you're down to earth and positive, and you always bring some great takes, and you did some awesome stuff today, bud. So what's Daz up to in the chat? But yeah, thanks, buddy, for coming on. You know, it meant the world. And where can they find you? Because I know you do a bit of streaming. So
yeah, so first you can find me on Twitter at XboxJesus87, and the same on my Twitch, XboxJesus87. So come along.
Sweet.
We always stream with BG4G Hub on a Thursday at 7 p.m. GMT time. My solo streams are a bit random. I'm hoping to change that when my health's a bit more stable.
Fair enough, bud.
Yeah, come check it out.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, definitely do that, guys. Everyone's links to their channels and social medias are in the description below anyway. So if you just wanted to check them out via that's no problem. Do that, slap that link, and then you will find them. And yeah, highly recommend doing that. So yeah, once again, thanks so much everyone who's checked out the podcast today. It's been a blast. We've taken on and we've knocked down 3 Indie Games podcast now, which is pretty damn awesome. Moving on and up, guys. We're going to keep going and keep spreading that indie goodness around. And yeah, hopefully you saw something you liked today. If you are watching on the replay, feel free to hit a comment in the comment section below and let us know if there's any games that caught your interest today. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and to stay up to date with all the latest indie game goodness on the channel. But once again, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time for the Indie Games podcast, but very soon with a video of the top 10 indie games of September. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Thanks again, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.